Hello and welcome back, everyone. As promised, today is the day. The crew is here, the parts are arriving little by little, and I have everything, I believe, set up downstairs, so that way you will all be able to bear witness to the beginnings of an exciting journey. That exciting journey, with me, your host, Aetherplasm, is with a 180-gallon saltwater aquarium. So, sit back, relax. Hopefully there's not too much chaos that we're going to have to let reign today, and hopefully things go according to plan. But we will find out. As far as my ability to respond to chat, it may be a little bit limited initially because I'm using my phone as another webcam down there. But let's go ahead and see if we can get that working. This is the spot downtown not downtown, in my basement that is going to be currently inhabited by, or soon to be inhabited by a fish tank. I'm going to see if I can get my headset to connect to my phone down there. Stay tuned, your call is important to us. Also, might I say that the fish tank installation today is brought to you by the amazing people over at Watercolors Aquarium Gallery in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So check it out. They are amazing people over there. Just try to avoid cursing too loud. You can say it under your breath and stuff, but other than that, I was making sure to, what?
No hot tub stream?
No hot tub stream, maybe in the tank afterwards. All right, I'm hoping that this is connected the way it should be. Do. So, here. Hopefully not gonna mess this up for too much. Whee. Yeah, we're good. Sorry, I just had to connect my headset over to it to see if it's going to work great. There we go. Okay. This should be working. I hope that is. I'm going to run upstairs real quick to make sure that it's actually working. But first things first, this is a bunch of live rock that's going in the tank. Live rock is very important when it comes to establishing a really stable ecosystem because there's a bunch of bacteria on that live rock that help make an actual culture. So I'm hoping that my headset down there is working. If it's not, we'll find out in a minute. But if you could hear the audio through the phone, please let me know in chat. Currently, you see some fine gentlemen moving the stand down the stairs. So it is a big stand. Looks like they had to go vertical around the stairs in order to get it there. First things first, with any fish tank, you gotta have something to put it on, right? So, you can hear me? So, you could hear me when I was downstairs too, Kadosia? Just to confirm before I switch back. Okay, good. Okay, good. I'm gonna go down there and do that from there then.
This way, through the doors. Yep. Now let's pull the cardboard.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be good.
It's pretty new construction, so it's gonna be level.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So.
I would hope so, right? The only thing that I was concerned about is not for this so much, but just making sure that I have enough space to probably have a bend come through here, because I made this hole a tiny bit lower than I should have because of the height of the sump, because it's gonna have to go out and then up and over the edge of the sump.
Okay.
That I'm having a little bit of electrical work done to put this as a 20 amp next week, as instead of a 15 amp. But this should be enough room to reach, I'd say. If not, we'll probably put the sump on that side so somebody can kind of reach through to get to this outlet if they need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does this placement look good for you? Do you want to go further this way yet?
Let's take a look.
You want to get that tape in the car and a cup holder in the middle?
I feel like we're pretty good. I mean, we could try it out. We could try to go just a little bit farther over here. Just making sure that this isn't going to be in the way of that either. The only difficulty that I could potentially see is the sump. If the sump's over here, then the cords have to go all the way down here to get to this outlet. So would the pump be? But the sump doesn't. Let's see. Let's see if we can fit the sump in here first. So we can take a couple things out and figure out where we can place this stuff. So what we're doing right now, besides just talking about ourselves while we're doing things, and people are watching, because they secretly are, don't worry. We need to fit this sump in the base of the aquarium stand. So I would just yep. And we need to figure out what's going to be the best placement for the wires, because we have a little bit of electrical work that's going to be done here in the next few days. Maybe through the back. I don't think this is wide enough. Yeah. That's why we do this stuff before
There's water in it.
There's water in it, and before there's a large aquarium on top of it. Oh, this is the drain, so that's we gonna have to turn around, yep.
If we go into the center, that way we can shift this way or this way.
Yep. So fun fact for anybody watching right now, Mrs. Plasm is going to be able to fit in this thing laying down if she wants to. My wife is 5'3". She's out of the house right now. She might be here a little bit later, but she would literally be able to easily lay down in the street.
She could go scuba diving.
Basically.
So if you ever need somebody to,
Yeah,
there
exactly.
you go.
Honey, I've lost that thing down there.
You can't reach that bottom corner. Take one table. So you wanted like 8 inches off the back here?
I just want to make sure that it's gonna, we're at 8 there. Oops, sorry.
You're good. Placement is everything.
Yep.
Just like in real estate, it's location, location, location. So the drain's gonna be here, the return's gonna be here. I don't mind where I have them form it to, but I'm betting probably here's a safer bet, because this is gonna have enough space for the drains to come down from either side, right? Because it's corner overflows.
Yep, corner overflows. You got dual returns too, so obviously that's gonna have to come up in T.
Yep.
And then go.
Yep. Which is fine, because that was what I was anticipating anyways.
Now, are you gonna want a viewable refugium? Keep that in mind.
This will be the refugium.
Okay,
Right
so
here.
that'll be, alright.
Yep. So refugium, return, skimmer, filter socks, and then obviously just drain. And then this, theoretically, if you need to, you got clear access to the outlet if for some reason you can't just reach from here to get to what you need. Okay, so that should be good. I think this will be good. I mean, it'll be great, but.
We always have to remind people, this is supposed to be fun. Because
Oh,
some people
it is.
get all worked up, you know, because it's a big decision.
Oh yeah,
Don't
definitely.
forget, it's just gonna be fun.
No, it's already fun. Is the fun.
Yeah.
Okay. And that gives us enough turn. We're clear on this vent over here, which is fine as far as using anything goes. So I think this is good. Yeah.
Do you? We're at 4 feet here.
Center in the wall.
Make sure that our video is still going. It is. We are good.
36. So we do have an extra foot on that side. So you're probably gonna want to put some kind of piece of furniture there to keep your feng shui.
Sure. I mean, I was eventually thinking of possibly like just a chair in the corner to kind of sit next to it. But then this is gonna be like this folds out. We gotta, obviously there's a lot that has to be done down here. But eventually it'll be nice. So yeah, I wasn't too worried about it being even here because I know that something's gonna go over there. Whether it's a bookshelf, whether it's like just like a standalone wingback chair or something eventually.
You can probably squeeze into the tank over there.
Probably if we need to. My wife's been wanting a frag tank, so we'll see. We'll see if that works. Then we can plumb it into right into there, and it'd be fine.
Yeah.
So, but okay. All right.
Are you hanging lights right out of this one? Or you
No, we're going to be using these. These are specifically from reef breeders, and they sit in the tank a little bit, so it's gonna overhang the tank. So this part's gonna stick in. There's a couple other parts that have to assemble. It's like Lincoln logs a little bit, but this is gonna go on top. It's gonna hold.
Wow, that's slick. I've not seen
Yeah.
that before.
This is.
Yes, have not yet put them together, of course, because I wasn't necessarily prepared to have the lights on the tank today if we didn't have the time or the ability to get them there. But those are the two. So I had the 4-foot light because originally I was thinking of doing just like 120 gallon. But then I was looking at the tanks and stuff that I might want to put in, and I was like, you know what, maybe we should go a little bit bigger. So then I had to get a 2-foot one, but they can connect, and then it'll just be one big bar over top, basically. So, but yeah.
Man, now is Reef Breeders sponsored this video at all?
Reef Breeders is not, although I would absolutely love it if they would. I don't even know if they know what Twitch is. There are no sponsors in this video. I am just a humble startup streamer. That's not even my regular job. I'm full-time employed with Spectrum Health. So I work on the front lines. Everything, but I'm fully vaccinated and I've been tested recently, so is my wife. So if that makes me any better.
I got tested this week too.
Yep, me as well.
There you go.
But
Oh, that's pretty cool.
this is slick.
Yeah, I want to see it all set up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run some sand down and stuff.
All right. I enjoy Reef Breeders because the company was founded based on hobbyists. Hobbyists tried to solve problems that they had that no one else was willing to tackle.
Yep. Now what I might have to do in order to do this, because the one thing that they didn't include was the best instructions. I'm pretty sure it goes like this.
Yeah.
This goes the outside and you screw in from here to lock it into place so it sits on the tank like this. And then we got this part up here. These sit rectangularly along the length of it. That means they have to be connected by probably one of these guys. That would only make sense because there's only one there. There's two here, so that's going to be there. And these are going to go here. Ooh, please don't tell me they didn't sand those correctly. Might need to get out the sander. Okay, but either way, it'll work. It'll be cool.
Cool. Very cool. Alright.
So what they're doing right now is they are getting everything prepped because the tank itself isn't actually down here. That's going to come in through the window that phone is set up next to. And I am just messing with all of the lighting stuff here. Let's see, there's the size there. a big giant Lego thing for adults. This is mostly, the biggest part of the book. Alright, looks like I will be contacting Greek readers because those parts are not the appropriate ones. But that's okay. Chaos reigns sometimes and we have to roll with it, otherwise we get rolled over by it. So a little bit more about some of the stuff you see here. So right now they're bringing out live sand. Live sand, just like live rock, has those bacteria cultures in it that are going to help to make our ecosystem really, really happy overall in the tank. Otherwise, coral are not going to be so happy in the tank. One thing I wasn't sure about beforehand or not, you guys might know this a little bit better than me. With this, I did not epoxy these in yet. Okay. I wasn't sure. I know that they go down, but I didn't know if it would be better for the screws to be up for the bulkhead or if it should be down, because in case I ever want to remove them. Because I am going to eventually be doing my own plumbing off of this. I know you guys are doing soft tube plumbing. Yep. Was the plan. I've got a bunch of PVC and everything in this schematic and drawings that I'm going to do that I'm going to hard plumb it. Cool. So I didn't know what would work best for you guys.
Let's talk to Derek.
Okay.
Yep, he's the man.
All right. Make sure that's okay. All right. That's why I was wondering if I needed
exactly.
Okay. Need anything like water? Anything like thing?
Okay. Good. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it. Again, this is the fine folks at Water Color Aquarium Gallery that are doing stuff with this stuff. So if you haven't heard of them, check them out. Thanks for the jokes, Ben. Sub-level B. Yeah, no, that's just the normal basement. It's just a partial finished basement. And then it has daylight windows. So they're going to actually go through the window to bring the tank in, because that's going to work a little bit easier. You can see some of the piping that they brought down right now. That gray piping is going to be used to get water from the top tank into that tank that you see in the base of the stand. Now, that base of the stand is holding something called a sump. Figured I'd give you guys a little bit more information about what that exactly means. A sump is basically where you put all of your filtration equipment for an aquarium, so that way it stays out of sight and out of mind. You don't have to worry about it as much when it's down there. Those doors will be closed, it'll look nice and pretty, and it looks like the gentleman that I want to talk to a little bit more is coming in right now, so I'm going to go back down there and chat with him. Okay, so question for you.
Answer.
When I was putting this together, I was wondering, is it more beneficial to have the bulkheads with the screw part facing down, because I didn't epoxy these first of all, because I wasn't sure, or up, because I am intending to hard plumb this after you guys are done, once I get my water change station set up. So I'm going to have PVC running. That's the whole reason we got through the wall. And I didn't know if it would make more sense to have these up top so that I can potentially unscrew them easier.
For in essence, but initially, because this whole thing comes out, so you wouldn't even have to unscrew these. You could theoretically do it like that.
Oh, all right.
That sump is work. So this, then, because you just have those screws there.
Yep.
So you could interchange it as you needed.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah,
that's an easy answer.
it's an easy answer.
There you go. You heard it here first.
Right.
Easy answers. We love those. So what's next? What can I help with? What can I do?
Just waiting for the big tank to get here, I think.
Okay.
So you're gonna hard plumb everything later?
Yes.
Okay.
We're just gonna get the initial stuff once it's cycling and everything, because I have to get the water change stations set up. I can show you kind of what we're gonna be doing. So we have two 65-gallon drums. Those are going to be going right here. So the pump between them, and I've seen the setups online, I've been sketching out and everything, so basically fresh water, salt water, we're going to put it in our unit up here that we're going to. Okay. So a couple of things. For anybody who's not familiar with fish tanks at all, there are a couple of important portions. You've got the live rock, which we have over here. You have the live sand, which you have over here. The fish tank itself is also very important. That's not in yet. But we have things like lights, heater, other equipment. The heaters, we have two 300-watt heaters, which come in 2 pairs. They actually are connected because one single one, there's like 250 watts together. And the way that they work is they basically monitor the temperature a little bit. These are the smart ones. But then that's not necessarily enough for your heater needs with just one of these for an aquarium this size. So what I have is also a sensor that's going to be connected so that way it can shut off one or the other if it needs to. And then we have the lovely wave pumps, narrow 5s, that are going to be causing current in the tank. So that way eventually when we have coral and everything like that, it's going to be able to move the nutrients around. Hello, Ben.
How we doing, Ian?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Fun is going to begin.
You got it. So, this is the live stream that we're going on right now.
Excellent.
Everybody, this is Ben from Watercolors Aquarium Gallery.
How's it going?
And this is the window we're going to take the tank through.
Excellent.
Is that what we set on?
I think so.
I think it would go.
We can put some blankets over here. We can
Yeah,
put
I brought a
cardboard.
packing blanket. We can set right on that.
Yep. And I've got like a big hunk of foam and stuff that we can build up to if we need to. If we need to set it down partially, then run around and get people in on the other side.
Perfect. Yeah,
So-
if we have 4 of us carrying it down, if you're willing.
Sure.
I got a packing blanket that probably do even
better.
Blankets.
4 of us carry it down, set the one end into here.
Yep.
2 people run down here,
Yep.
get it through.
Sure.
2 people can stand here for an hour holding that tank if there's 2 people just on one end.
Okay.
And then the other 2 come running around the other way. Boom.
Okay.
And this is gonna be easy.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yes, I said that out loud. I said that out loud. Don't ever say things like that out loud.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure I got scolded for saying that this morning.
This is what we're going to use to support the tank outside the windowsill for when we need to come in. At least one of the things we're going to use here. We could build it up a little bit more than that. We've got work cardboard here.
These handles are hanging out for dear life. On these bags here.
Oh yeah, it looks like it.
Alright, I think we're good.
Okay. Stay tuned. Anybody who's enjoying the time right now, make sure you hit that follow button so you can see the journey of this tank. Shortly. We get to see the entire tank in its totality. There we go. It's pretty darn close right there.
Yep.
side of it. Did you ever play the game Operation as a kid? All right, set it right there. We'll be right back.
All right. Please hold. Your call is important to us. You guys can't see it now, but we're currently partway through a window here with a giant fish tank. All right. How many more of these are you doing today?
This is it.
This is it.
Today, this is it.
Fair enough. Have you done any recently? Any big ones recently too?
This would be the biggest. We've done a lot of like 75s and 90s.
Nice.
And then this morning I had the main team. We did a 220.
How's it going over there, guys?
That's great.
All right.
We're just relaxing out here.
We're just gonna get it this way to right about there.
All right. We're gonna sneak
And then get
around.
comfortable.
Pull your. Yeah, you good. You good. You good.
So, seen any good movies lately?
I rewatched episode 7 of Star Wars. That would be The Force Awakens.
Nice for the 100th time.
Third.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're more of a Star Trek guy, aren't you?
No, definitely a Star Wars fan.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like Star Trek, but
You quote Star Trek more.
The video
I did.
is still there, not the important part.
not on purpose.
All right.
All right. So you guys are gonna start out sort of middle-ish,
Okay.
and I would lift it up as soon as you can, and then get around and grab those handles as soon as you can. Okay, and then we want to lower it so that there we go. And then you guys swing around. And the handles are strong enough so that you can get your fingers out of the way.
Your whale pinch.
Yep.
Step right in. You
Oh, we're in.
Are you in?
We're in.
Voila.
Yeah, I was gonna say. And here we have it. Wow, that's a snug fit too. Goodness.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they designed it exactly to be the way it
It
is.
fits like it was made for it.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
Step 1.
Yes.
Insert tank. Step 2. Add fish.
So I only see one very, very minor problem. We're gonna have to, the lids I ordered
Uh-huh.
are for 2 dividers.
Okay.
So I have to get new lids.
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't set us back any today.
Okay. And I was gonna say we'll have to see. I'm gonna be contacting refrigerators anyways because one of these is not
What do you got?
quite working the way that I was hoping.
Punch
But
from
so
behind.
Okay.
Okay, we're in.
Uh-huh.
this is in general how it's gonna work. So we're gonna have one with 2.
Nice.
And there's one bar and then there's one over here. So the only issue would be if this is gonna be too much. It should be like here, and then I'm guessing here and here will be fine.
You have 4 lights?
I have 2.
Okay.
So the way that it worked was I was initially planning doing the 120, so I was going to do 4 foot. So I got a 4 foot one. But instead of going and buying, an extra and just like trying to sell this and get other ones, I just bought a 2 foot extension.
Oh, nice.
So but there's rails all the way across, so it might just take a tiny bit of jerry rigging,
We're good.
Excellent.
and it should be fine. Because this is epoxied in, right?
Oh yeah, that doesn't.
Yeah. No, that's what I would want. So that's why I was just making sure.
Yes.
Okay.
That is structural. All right. So what we need to do next is carry the rest of the stuff from my van. I've got the quote in the invoice that we can go over real quick to make sure that this is
Yep.
everything we planned on, and then I'm gonna leave these guys to work in the magic.
All right. Sounds good.
Cool. Yeah. So if you will help me carry stuff, basically it's there.
Gonna make sure that we can get this window closed again and not heat the outside for too much longer. So I'll take that. We'll just grab all this stuff back in.
That's right. It is chilly in Michigan.
It is the mitten stakes because it's always cold. That's why they call it the mitten stakes. And voila, those screens are a lot harder to get out than they say they are. That's for sure. But
Hey, can I have that blanket?
Well, we're bringing all this stuff up too, load up. That's fine.
We're gonna use this. We're gonna put all the water on here just so we can
Okay.
minimize the mess.
I'll be back. I'm heading upstairs quick. So we're pausing for a moment to handle some logistical side of stuff. But as you can see, the tank is in place. We've got the sump looking great. They're starting to bring down water now because we're going to be filling it today as well and getting the whole cycle going. That's going to be more important to getting the nutrient level where we need it to be. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that once they're getting into the setup mode and they don't need to be chatting with me about a bunch of things. But yeah, that's Ben. Is it because his name is Ben? Ben, is that why you like Ben, the boss guy? Anyways, hope you guys are having a good time right now. This is definitely one of the more interesting streams that I've done. Okay, I'm gonna head back down because I need to chat with him about a couple things, and then we will get back up to our chatting while these fine folks continue the setup. So we were just handling some logistics, and now they're going to keep working on the actual setup of the tank itself. They're going to have to plumb it, they're going to have to fill it with water and sand and rock, and it's going to look real murky at first. But that's all part of the process. Make sure that you stay tuned. I'm going to make sure that you have some good background music here in the meantime while this is going on. I feel like that's going. Let me double check up here. It looks like it is. Okay.
Sounds good. You look beat.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you could come.
What's that?
I'm glad you were able to come, because
Yeah.
we needed it.
No, it's definitely needs more than just 2 people.
Yeah, I believe that too.
You gotta touch it up, we can touch it up.
I can actually monitor chat while I'm up here, while they're working down there and they're figuring this stuff out. Do you guys have any questions? Are you enjoying yourselves? Is this something interesting? Is this something different? Enough for work, because noise in here. Fair enough. Hey, well, this is my one day off this week, so that's part of the issue here. It's my one day off this week. There you saw Mrs. Plasm quickly scoot into the shot. Checking it out for the first time. She's impressed with how big it is, that's for sure. All right, I'm gonna go down there and join them.
Tank that I had when mine was up and running.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's the size I would do it to.
Yeah, and I kind of figured like it's something that he's always wanted and honestly has been dreaming of ever since we moved into an apartment. And unfortunately, it wasn't the place to do it. And
Right.
it's like, go big or go home. You should probably get what you really want and
Yep, perfect.
do it the first time around.
Heck yeah. Yep.
Sounds like you guys have worked hard for it, so you definitely earned it.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's good.
So I ordered Jane like a larger beef cheek roll, but
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize that's how big it was.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So she's gonna go through that for. She'll be a real happy puppy when she comes home.
All right.
What kind of dog?
Cool.
She's a Bernese Mountain Dog.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She's only 6 months right now, and she's a big sweetie. And
Aw.
she had to have her official space surgery, but I'm trying to spoil the heck out of her today.
Yep.
We were just joking around saying that when she gets home, she'll be high as a kite, but then she'll see this and basically be like, what happened?
Yeah, very cool.
So as far as like live rock and stuff goes and everything, do we do live rock before sand or which? Because I've seen multiple methods.
I usually do
So that way it's
sand
settled.
and then live rock.
Okay,
But we work the live rock into the bottom of the tank.
gotcha. Makes sense. So that way it doesn't have settling later, which can cause potential rock slides and everything like that. Okay.
But then we can also use the sand to kind of prop some of the live rock in place as we're doing it, and really to get that visual.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Cool.
So, these guys are under instruction to put a piece of live rock in and say, what do you think? Okay, let's move it. Okay, keep it there. You're the boss when it comes to how you want that aquascape done.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I got a step stool and stuff too if we need it. So, but you guys look like a little bit taller, so. it
No,
should-
I'll need it. I'll need it. I don't know
Okay.
about these guys, but.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
he said you're gonna hard plumb it?
I am gonna hard plumb
Okay.
it. So the only concern is like with the bulkheads and everything now, I know that you guys have to epoxy stuff in order for it to be watertight, but technically the bulkheads should still be able to unscrew at some point if I wanted to ever like change or clean the plumbing normally.
Yeah, the bulkheads are not looped.
Yeah. So if we epoxy those bulkheads, I could theoretically just replace the entire bulkhead. My
Yes.
question is, as far as is there a bulkhead that's basically gonna be not epoxied to the returns as well, or is it?
Why don't you open those up and
Okay.
So these bulkheads come with barbed tanks.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So then that way I'll just be able to DIY the PVC later just by undoing those and then disconnecting
Yeah.
and making sure that the water level's not gonna spill over and
Exactly.
everything. Cool, okay.
Yep.
Gotcha, that'll be just fine.
So the way those are set up, that if you pull one of the white things off of those hoses
Uh-huh.
and hose clamp it, it goes right out of here. The other end has the PVC fitting installed, and I actually don't even glue them most of the time.
Okay.
Slip fit them into those bulkhead fittings. Part of the reason I do that is because I change my mind all the time.
Yeah.
And if I do, I can just take it apart. That's why I do flex instead of hard plumb.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that, my hard plumb just has a ton of unions playing into it.
There you go.
So,
There you go. Yep.
but yeah. Okay, cool. Well, anything else you need from me as far as like questions go
I
back?
think we're good.
Okay.
I think you guys just have a ball.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Good to see ya.
Yeah, I'll be back to get the fish one of these weeks here. As soon as this thing is, up and running, they'll be like, "What is this giant home that I have?" So
They're looking good too. They're eating like pigs and.
good. Glad to hear.
Yep.
What do we have picked out already?
We're storing. The
Oh, that's
leopard
yours.
grasses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
those
right.
grasses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's eating great. That leopard grass is
Oh, yeah.
a glutton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was always eating good. I got him from you guys. That was the only reason that I was comfortable taking him home, because leopard grass, if you guys don't know, they're a little bit difficult to keep unless they're eating pellets or
They
flakes
tend to
or
be
something.
sometimes tricky to get on them,
Yeah.
and he's eating great. So
Yeah.
Cool.
Nick is our nutrition specialist. So
Oh.
his job is to go through
That's quite the
quarantining
label.
fish. Well, that's what you do.
There you go.
And he spends time with each individual fish that we're concerned about.
Awesome.
So the people that feed go through and dump food, and if one of them's not doing what it's supposed to do, Nick goes through and as much time as he needs to spend per fish
Wow.
to make sure they're doing great.
Awesome. Glad to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple of, other than that, there's some tangs on the list that I'm sure will come in eventually, but it was
Cool.
like a powder blue, Disjardini,
Yep.
the square-tail bristletooth, a Atlantic blue, and there might have been one more. I
I
don't remember.
have the list somewhere, but.
Yeah, the list is on it somewhere, so when they come in, you'll see them. My
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Excellent. All right, you guys.
yep.
I will let you know if I'm coming back here with water. If you guys, just gonna make you guys go get it. I got my second COVID shot yesterday.
Congratulations.
Feeling it.
I was gonna say yes.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised
Yeah.
he came to help us. It was going to be a maybe, so.
Yep. We definitely know exactly how that goes. I was laid out for 24 hours with a fever of 102
Ooh,
and body aches, and yeah, she was just fatigued.
that's what I've got is fatigue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a fever when I first woke up this morning. By the time I got out of the shower, it was gone.
Yeah.
Champ.
So,
If I woke up with a fever, that's it for the day.
it was a little fever.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I got mine coming
So
up.
we'll see. I'll let you guys know. They're either gonna make another trip back for another 100 gallons of water,
Okay.
or I'm gonna go load up and bring water back, depending on how I feel.
Whatever works. We'll be here.
Sounds good. Have fun, guys. We'll see you
Alright,
soon.
guys.
See you.
That's Ben from Watercolors Aquarium Gallery. Make
Thanks,
sure you
everybody.
check it out online, Facebook and blog and website, right?
And
podcast.
YouTube and
And
podcast.
YouTube and
I'll
podcast.
leave this with you.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm gonna go set up a little nest for
For Jane to cuddle in when she's.
gonna be
Yeah.
Hey, Derek, tell me where you want me.
All right.
Grab that other plumbing kit, we'll get these going, and then three of us can aquascape.
There you go.
Yeah, usually with those drain lines, just shove them right in there.
Because it's just gravity going
Yep,
down. It's not like you have to worry
gravity.
about pressure. All right. Fair enough. I'll let you guys do that. I'm gonna be upstairs.
We'll grab you when we're ready to escape. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sure. Cool.
Awesome.
And I'll make sure not to have the mic down here on you guys in case you're cursing or something.
Watch how you do this one.
I just said nothing, tighten the knots.
Tighten them knots.
I might have to get my bulkhead wrench out of the van, we'll see.
It's down here.
Oh, it's down here?
There's a smaller one. Does the smaller one fit?
Maybe.
I got it for you right now. If you need it. It looks like it would. So there's.
So right now, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a play-by-play. I'm gonna let those fine folks down there do their work because they probably don't need me right in their face the entire time. They are currently setting up the plumbing. Now, the plumbing that is important for a project like this, you need to have a way for water to get down from the tank, and you need to have water to get back up to the tank because they have to transfer in between the top and the bottom. So if you look very carefully, there's these large black things in the sides there that look like kind of like columns in the back of the tank. Those are called overflows. Those overflows are where water is going to go from the surface of the water, and it's going to pour down, and then it's going to collect, and it's going to flow down into the sump underneath it. From there, it's going to go through some different chambers of the sump. It's going to go through some filtration equipment, and it's going to get pumped back up to the tank through those same columns. And I'll show you a little bit more detail about what those look like once it is installed. But right now they're attaching bulkheads to the bottom of the glass, so that way they can then connect the pipes securely, so that way there isn't any water leaking when it comes to getting it down to that lower sump. And I will let Mrs. Plasm know that you said hi, Ben. There won't be any puppy plasm shots today, unfortunately. She is out of the house having her trip to the vet. And she will be a little bit out of it when she gets back. So we're not going to bug her with that. But yeah, how's everybody's Friday going? Friday going well? Excited for the weekend? Got some big plans? This thing is gonna be cool because you're gonna get to see how we aquascape it as well. Because the aquascaping is the placement and location of the rocks that you're gonna see. And we're gonna go ahead and let me see if I can broadcast the fact that we're doing this to a couple other people. I mean, I know a lot of people are at work right now, so that's part of it. How do I get that to go away? Taskbar settings. There's that. Thank you so much for the follow, Sealed7. Hopefully our week is going well, and hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of an informational stream today. If you have, or you're just now joining us, these fine folks here in my basement are currently plumbing the overflows for this aquarium that we just installed. Thank you so much for the follow, Sealed7. Hopefully our week is going well. I'm currently working on a way to make sure that I can actually monitor chat while I'm down there, because it's difficult to keep running back up to the office and all the way down to the basement. And I mean, I'm all for cardio and everything like that, but at the same time, it just makes it a little bit more complicated. So I think I figured it out. We'll give it a try down there. And we'll see if we can move some stuff around, because if I can monitor chat down there, then that means that I will be able to give a little bit more detail to some of these shots here. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Then maybe I will offer those turkey sandwiches. Okay. Testing, just making sure that the headset is still working here.
Hey, if you don't mind, we could definitely use that step stool.
Yeah, you got it.
One of those is shorter than the other two.
Yeah, one of the two of you guys is a little bit shorter. Okay. Testing, just making sure that the headset is still working.
One of these, they're both tight, but one of them is free span, so you want to get on
Yeah,
here?
there you go.
For sure.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't know which one was shorter than the other one,
Yeah, we can't figure it out. I know which one's smarter though.
but.
Okay, so I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. I'm going to be moving the camera here so that way I can show you just exactly what's going on.
Water.
Without water, yeah. So look at this is about half the water that we're going to be using for the aquarium, because the aquarium can hold a total of 180 gallons, and that sump I think can hold another 30 on top of it. So there's going to be quite a lot of water volume this whole thing. So right now, what they've been working on, I'm going to show you these overflows. So what I was talking about, in these corners, you have these lovely columns, and what happens is the water level, once it's up high enough, passes through these grates, and then it falls down back here. And you can't really see it at the moment, but you can kind of see down there, there's two different holes. One of those holes is going to take water down into the sump that's underneath it. And then that other hole is going to be where water comes back up, and then it's going to come out a valve, depending on if we put it here, or if we put it there, or whichever we decide to do in order to have water come back into the main display tank. But making sure that's all set up properly is why we have experts doing this. Otherwise, it might get a little bit wet and messy on our own. But we're going to have a stream a different time where we do some of that DIY stuff probably. The first bag of live sand is going in. So the bottom of the tank is glass because it adheres to other glass better. So the silicone that they're using they use in these tanks is meant to bond glass specifically, or bond to glass well. So it forms a tighter seal and everything. No, you won't be doing much down there. That's because there's going to be sand going on the bottom of it. I have not set up the RO system yet. That is going to be another stream. Don't worry.
Somebody in the stream knows their stuff.
What?
So somebody in the stream knows their stuff.
I have been doing this for.
I know you do, yeah, for sure.
What's it called? Well, someone in the stream. So his name is Ben, actually. And he's curious about fish tanks and everything. Cool. It's not. That's why he was so much a fan of your Ben.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that guy in the green sweater there. He's certainly pretty photogenic. And I was like, you like him a lot because his name is Ben, don't you? He's like, shh. How many weeks would it take for you to make that much water? So the reverse osmosis system that I have right now can produce 100 gallons of of filtered water a day if I need it to. So what'll happen when I plumbing that out is it's going to fill up the tank that it's in, and then it's going to have a little valve, and that little float valve is going to register when the water gets high enough, and then it's going to close off the filtered water. So there's always going to be pressure to it, and anytime it dips, it's just going to work on filling it back up to where it was before. So it doesn't take as long as you think. And the main reason that you need to have that one is to have your auto top off. So when the water evaporates out of the tank, it is salt water. You need the salinity of the salt water to maintain a fairly consistent level. So you have to make sure that you replace the water that evaporates. Well, fun fact, anybody who doesn't know, the salt in the water doesn't evaporate. So as the water evaporates, it just gets saltier. So you need to replace it with very, very good filtered fresh water. And that's where the reverse osmosis system comes into play.
You're gonna talk about the salt creep and splash, all that fun stuff?
I want to give them the glory of the tank at first.
Well, no, because I mean, that'll adjust the stuff.
Oh, true.
Alright, so, do you have any ideas on aquascapes?
So in a perfect world, I thought it'd be kind of cool to do kind of like 2 islands kind of style, and maybe the one over here being a little bit larger than the one over here.
Sure.
And then so that way it just kind of directionally, like it's kind of going into a corner, so it draws your view kind of this way to make it look like there's actually something interesting in the corner as opposed to just drawing your view towards the hallway. That's kind of the way that I was thinking about it.
Okay.
So that's what I have to go off of right now. I mean, if an arch works, it works, but I'm not really, that concerned about it because we have to drill and do some other stuff in order to get it to stay most of the time for arches. With a couple of caves and things here to make sure that there's spaces for the tanks and everything to hide in case they're feeling bothered. So
Okay, 2 islands, little big.
yep,
We'll run with that, and then we'll get your approval.
you got it.
Keep playing. Is this all right? Do we have another one upstairs?
There should be 7, so
Well, there's 2.
one more must not have come down yet. Do you want like kind of a gradient slope on this sand, or front to back kind of deal?
I know it's B. The fish tank is exciting, and like I promised, it is big. So I currently have 4 fish being held by these lovely folks as we were waiting for the aquarium to come in. I have a leopard wrasse, 2 fancy clownfish. I mean, I could use their full name. They're Phantom Ice Ocellaris. But unless you're in the hobby, you don't really know what that looks like. I'll show you pictures of them once we get them back in the tank. And that won't be today, though. And then I have a Bengai cardinal fish. I'm going to be having some tangs in here of various colors and sizes. So nothing too big, though. Nothing like a Sohal tang or something like that. That would be a little large. The largest would probably be the Destrodini sailfin tang once it comes in. But usually they start a little small anyway, so it'll take some time to grow out.
Do you want space on the back glass to be able to get to it, or you want it overgrown?
A little bit of space would be good, so that I can clean it.
Enough for a magnet to go through?
Yeah.
What magnet are you using?
I'm gonna be using what's it called? Is Toonsy? Toonsy has one, don't they? Or Toons?
The new one?
The new one.
Okay.
With like the float. It comes out, it's like, got a profile of like probably 2 inches.
I just ordered it. I haven't played with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of good reviews on it online, so.
Right, because the only thing that touches are the blades, so all the force is on those blades.
Yep, that's what I liked about it a lot.
Yeah, mine hasn't come in yet. I did just order it.
And then I will be doing mostly LPS and like Zoas and stuff in here, but I'm potentially going to try to do some like easier tabling acros or something maybe up top where it's going to be highlight. So
Cool.
Grab one more bucket.
And this is part of the fun process. This is where the artsy side of stuff comes in, because aquascaping is kind of a guess and check sort of method of things, where you have to try one thing, see if you like it, try another thing, see if you hate it, and then you finally find the shape that you want to do, and that's when you actually get to fill the whole thing with water. So.
I'm more of a freshwater planted tank guy.
Oh yeah.
So the reef process is,
It's all new to him.
it is a little new to me.
Fair enough. I started off with a planted 55-gallon freshwater, and then I started saltwater in a 10-gallon cube, which was a terrible idea. So pro tip: anybody who's looking to get into saltwater the first time, don't start with a 10-gallon tank, because it is a lot harder to manage your chemistry of your water. Dilution is a solution for pollution. Remember that. So larger water volume, less issues.
Also no challenge.
What?
Also no challenge.
True. I mean, if you like a challenge, then you can start with a small one. But putting rocks in the glass, that's why we put the sand first, so that way it does it. But this is a common practice that's been done for eons. In the fish tank hobby. Cavemen used to do the same process where they put the sand down first and then put the rock on top of it, so that way you weren't having issues. So the calming background music I've got on is just some cool underwater sort of mood setting-y stuff that I found. I got this nervous calm vibe. Well, hey, that's kind of what I was hoping. There's nothing to be nervous about. This is all actually very routine stuff. For anybody who's not familiar with it, it may look like it's intimidating, but honestly, it's really not a big deal. This glass is incredibly strong. We carried it in by the glass with suction cups, basically, so it can obviously support a ton of weight.
The tank weighs 450 pounds.
Yeah, the tank on its own weighs 450 pounds. Now that we've got 180 pounds of live rock in there, that puts it up to 630. And then the sand itself, how many bags of sand did we use?
440, so 120 pounds.
120 pounds of sand, so that puts our grand total at about 750 pounds without water. So it sounds like a lot, but really that's like 5 people my size, a little bigger than me, a little bigger than me size people standing in one spot in the basement. It's really not that many. I mean, you have to look kind of far to see, people my height that far. But other than that.
I kind of like that. Like, we get one more something. Yeah, I've never checked. Or sure, we'll go find it. Yeah. Because I'd like to put like an island if he's gonna do like solos and stuff like that. That way they don't take over. Maybe grab another towel or two too. But I don't know. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Last second, so. Needs to be taller.
Just a little bit. All right. The one thing I wanted to avoid was like the straight across, just like the whole thing is an island. You just have a racetrack, because I want to have some, and it can be a little bit closer if it needs to be. Like if we need to shift this over a little bit and have less of a gap, that's fine. I like the bigger gap.
You might want the bigger gap and like more real estate too, because then if you decide to get clams or like you said, the open brains or whatever else, then I'd love to be on the sand bed. That way you have the real estate for it.
Oh yeah, makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. And then as far as thoughts about where we want to put these guys, I'm guessing.
I've had the best of luck trying to shoot them behind the aquascapes, because you're going to probably have your Neros up in the front.
That's what I was
So
thinking.
you're going to have flow here, and then the return to provide the flow back here. That way you don't get stuck in the bag.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. I should probably go get the power strip that we'll be using. For now, we're going to just plug into the outlet over there, because we really just have to run, because I'm not going to run the skimmer while recycling, obviously. But just the return pump, do you think that'll be enough, or do you think the Neros will need to be running at the same time? Okay, so then I'll just start, because until the electrical work is going to be getting done early next week for this, and then I'll be more comfortable like throwing that other stuff on the top of the same one. So I'll go grab an extension cord and the power strip. So return pump and then heaters is really it, which should be fine on one. Because they're 2 300-watt heaters, but with only one return pump.
Really, it's like if you're in low 70s, it's not going to hurt.
True. Down here in the basement, like we keep the house at about 66, 68 though. And then down here, since we're partial sub-level, it gets a little bit cooler than that. So we'll want to keep it. I'll keep the heat lower as far as like the actual heaters going. But then, yeah. So let me go grab a couple of supplies. Let me check the chat to see if there's any questions. All right, Kudosia, thank you so much for stopping by. Catch the rest of it later when we put it up on YouTube. I am gonna go get some supplies. Hey, I did a fish tank. I did 3 fish tanks in an apartment for, goodness, 8 years. Sealed 7, so it is possible. It's totally doable. You don't have to do one this size. There's plenty of other ones that are reasonable. Like I did they call it a 40 breeders, the size of the tank, and it's closer to a 47, 48 gallon water volume. So it's easier to maintain than a 10 gallon that we talked about. And then you can still put a sump on those and everything like that. So it is totally possible. And I got my deposit back, my entire deposit. I don't even know how I managed that one. Did you have a question? Or were you
You
just...
know what?
We just want your thoughts though.
Okay.
Yep.
Because we can definitely bring more. We can definitely rearrange.
Walk around too.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have different angles too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much time you're gonna spend in that corner. Because most of the time you're gonna walk in here, you'll probably look, and then head this way.
Well, this is actually going to be kind of like the gaming corner. So when we host, we're going to do like board games. So that's why I have the table here, and it folds out and like everything. So it'll kind of be a separate area. So yeah, we're going to have like video games and everything, but then like board games and the hosting will be kind of here. So this will kind of be over a little bit.
If we could ever host get-togethers again.
Right. Well, now that they're saying that people are fully vaccinated, as long as they're they're familiar with each other and they're not making stupid mistakes, then can potentially. So, but. Trying to think. The flat piece over here, I'm guessing, is just sitting on the side, just on the bottom.
I think you like that either, dude.
Yeah.
This one right here.
Yeah.
I think that one should just come off.
Yeah. And then trying to think. Can you move that smaller piece so that it's touching the rock?
You want to touch it yet?
Yeah.
You like it up under here and then still have this big hole?
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And then.
You can definitely ditch pieces you don't like to, come back with more.
Okay. I'm liking the top. The right one is feeling pretty good so far. Yeah, that other flat piece. It's hard because like without the coral and everything, knowing which way it's gonna grow, right? It's gonna do a little bit. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of tabling SPS, but not invest too much in the SPS because I've had too many issues with them in the past, at least for now.
Right.
So I'm just trying to figure out exactly.
Are you gonna do a lot of smaller fish too? Diamondbacks, garamas, gobies, blennies?
Probably not too many small ones. It'll probably be, the other smaller fish will be Anthias.
Okay. Trying to do a school?
Maybe, depending upon if I can get them, because between the aggression from the tangs and the aggression from the Anthias, I don't know if I want to test that or not. I know they won't be aggressive to each other, but then a tank full of, semi-aggressive things might make it a little bit more complicated.
Every quarter you're finding a body.
Basically.
What size was your previous tank?
What?
What size was your previous tank?
40 breeder with a 25 gallon sump.
Cool.
So that one just kind of ended up being a conglomeration of rock in the middle.
Definitely an upgrade.
Oh yes, yes. I'm feeling like I'm not digging this arch right here. That's
It's too big of an arch?
Yeah, because I feel like it looks kind of
Man-made?
yeah, exactly. And then, as long as you think, so as far as, you would know better than me, because I haven't kept tangs yet. As far as like hiding spots and stuff to go, I'm going to be kind of relying on you guys to let me know like what's a good amount and what's a good sizes if we need to like adjust things in order to do it that way. I almost wonder, you know what might be kind of cool actually? What if?
Jump in here, man.
What if we did something crazy here? What if? Can we
Now's
get?
the time to experiment.
Can we get that flat piece and set set it here,
Mhm.
and then
Oh, I see you weed it, be kind of hanging over.
I don't know about its structural integrity is the only concern. We kind of just leave it
I'm digging that.
drop off style. But
We
I just
definitely
need to make sure that we
needed,
can get it solid.
Yeah, we definitely needed a little variation. It was just kind of between that one. It's a little too similar.
Like I like, because I mean coral itself is gonna plate, right? It's some of it. If we do any SPS whatsoever, so it's gonna kind of do this sort of thing. But having something to put it on to kind of start that kind of growth, because if we do like a tabling coral, like SPS kind of over this way, then it could kind of potentially grow over there. So that could be good.
Cool. Yeah, I was just trying to shoot for a little variations of just a mound, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
So
I hear
it
you.
come branch a little bit like this, a
Mhm.
little bit of depth here.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely looks better.
This is definitely subject to change. Even when we're happy with it, it's probably subject to change forever.
Oh yeah, that's the nice thing about live rock is unless you're literally gluing it, and even then, if you take the hammer, you're technically gonna be okay with it.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say the tricky part is finding the part where it's gonna stay stable and not liable to shift or something with fish going by.
What sizes are reef display at the shop?
So it's a little taller than this.
You know, same length and width, just 2 inches taller.
Gotcha.
4 inches taller. So we like here.
This feels fairly steady. Like I can give that a good shake and it's not falling off, but then it gives us a little bit of the visual instead of just a heap of rocks. It's got some life to it.
Yeah, you want to look kind of like the overall kind of scape, or
Mhm.
like a kind of background, you know?
Yeah.
So look at it from the side too.
Yeah, the side view is gonna be good.
Carrie's pretty bold with her scaping. She'll kind of like teeter some things, but she's real confident when she does it and it works out.
I like the gap, and I like this part. I'm trying to figure out. Is there a way that we can take this and kind of just move it a little bit so that this is more of a path kind of through here as opposed to like this part is kind of jutting out here, leaving a big open spot in the back where the back isn't going to do a whole lot.
Right.
So it'll still be 2 islands, but then maybe try to just shift it a little. I mean, I know we can't take
So
it.
the way that this one here is kind of positioned like this,
Yeah,
so
so
they're
then
kind of
just-
the same alignment.
Yeah, but then still leaving a little like I don't like this is a good distance to the back glass, but just like this part, how this kind of comes out this way instead of back that way. And maybe we don't even need to necessarily move it. Maybe we make a piece like this, and just like
I see what you're going for though, because it'll give you kind of
Like a
negative
diagonal sort of
space.
shape, yep.
Yeah.
that seems like that's a little precarious.
Let's go ahead and take this off and we'll go this way.
It's like those rocks. It's like you feel like it should balance in a certain way. You
Right.
feel like it should work in a certain way.
You really got to puzzle piece them together.
Yeah. Okay. I'm liking that better.
Need something on this side a little bit still.
Let's see. Mini Fluff is now. Mini Ben is not watching during lunch. Fair enough. Is there an arch within the right rocks? I was like an arch in wafer fish. I am not as big into the arches personally, just because they feel a little bit too man-made to me. Like little holes in the rock for things to go through is always good. But as far as archways go, I want to keep them minimal. Like there are some arches in the ocean, but they're rare, and when they happen, they're huge. They're not like little pieces unless it's coral that has actually grown and died off. Okay. Yeah, I think it's good. Okay.
Don't feel like you're gonna hurt our feelings too. You can definitely. It's your tank. It's your design. So.
No, totally fine. I'm just kind of perusing.
And so you got to look at it from a few different angles. Why?
Like the overall idea you have for escape just completely evolves as soon as you start doing it.
Sure.
Strategically pour water into it. But we'll pump it first. Save one of those buckets so I can
I'm also trying to make sure there's no point of baiting themselves too much. Obviously for coral, if you have too many like under spots under like an overhang, then it would be
Unless you like those low light elbows.
true. Very true. But most of the time for me it's so I'm actually partially colorblind and I need things with bright contrast, so that's why I like Zoas or some of the like torches and things like that that have under activities really just pop.
I feel like we could really benefit for some rubble in here. Some smaller pieces.
Yeah, I could agree.
There's something else.
I'm not a fan of rubble,
No?
but there's a couple of
Like golf ball, baseball size bits.
Not like in the sand necessarily so much as just like maybe filling in a couple of small pieces to make it look a little bit more fluid of a transition. Yeah, that's okay. As far as that little gap there goes, like it's not, that doesn't bother me. The little archway there.
and let that might as well take this down.
Yeah, we can leave that out. I think we're close, that's for sure. There's just something. There's just one.
I mean, we gotta run back and get water anyways. We can come back with a couple more buckets and different pieces and
Yeah.
fiddle with it a bit more.
All right, let's go ahead and do that, and we can just leave it, let it kind of sit and simmer for a bit while you guys are doing that, and then we can continue to figure it out that way.
Sounds good.
You got, where's the return line? There's the plumbing, where's the sump tube?
It was in that box.
Maybe this one right here, this box? You know what, I tossed it in there.
You do get to pick where this stuff goes. Yeah, we get to figure out exactly where we want the rocks and the shape of the rocks and where arches go and where arches don't go. It ends up all working out in the end. And as they were mentioning, and I wholeheartedly agree, there's a very good likelihood that it's still going to change in the future, that we're still going to be doing this kind of stuff and checking it out more and more. Let me see. I wonder if there's a way that I can actually zoom in on this. Do. But that's the nice thing about it. As long as there isn't like something prohibiting your movement of it, like if there's a hard coral holding it in place, you can just pick up this stuff. You know, it'll fill with water and everything. But you can just pick it up, move it somewhere else, and do something else with it. You know, some people go 4 or 5 years with a tank and decide they want to go a completely different direction with it, and they take out all the rock and everything, and then just put in different ways, or maybe get new rock, and that's up to them. You know. But yeah, you guys having a good time on stream. A little bit of that relaxing music at the same time as a little bit of some, you know, apparently stressful stuff according to Ben. I don't believe that it's stressful, but I think it's entertaining and fun. Just trying to make sure that the camera is showing what I want it to show here. Some seagrass, some seaweed. There may be some macroalgae at some point. The only thing with that mini Ben is that you have to be very careful, because if you put algae in your tank and it gets hold and you don't necessarily want it to get all over, then you're going to be pulling out algae forever. Because algae grows off of nutrients, right? And then it can take, it can take nutrients away from the coral. It can take, nutrients away from other things in the tank that need it. Or the other thing to worry about is some of the fish that are going in this tank happen to be very prolific algae eaters, which means they might just snack on it for lunch. I'm also taking some time to look at the stream here and see this aquascape see how it looks from here. I feel like the right needs to be a little higher. True, making it hard to work on a Friday. I do appreciate the stop by though, Sealed 7. We are very close to getting to official Twitch affiliates. If we do that, then there's a whole slew of fun things that are gonna happen. We're gonna make sure that we have some more giveaways. We're gonna make sure that we have custom emotes and maybe custom like bits and all this stuff, and it's gonna be a good time. I'm trying to look at this here. What would I do differently about this tank? What would I do differently from this angle? I'm gonna walk over here and take a look too. So I think I know what it is, but I'm not exactly sure how to fix it right off the top of my head. So they're too close in heights, I think. I think the right side should be higher than the left side. And I know we don't want to go too terribly much higher because we're going to hit the water level and everything like that, or it's going to be real close to the top of the tank.
Unless you want fiddler crabs.
Yeah, it's not something that I'm initially planning on. So what I'm wondering is maybe if we adjust this side.
So what if we took these two off and then took this off?
Kind of like over here.
Let's see.
Because I really like that piece of rock work. That's really cool, like almost Fiji-like kind of rock. Like what they do. It used to be dry rock, I'm guessing, and then it's been in a tank for a while, or in a sump somewhere. Better. This side now kind of looks more like a just jumble of rocks. Though. I'm wondering if we can kind of go more angled up, like a small mountain sort of thing. That just kind of looks like they're just a pile. I'm wondering if this is better without this piece.
I am liking that red island.
Yeah, the right island's real close. That's for sure.
It needs just a little bit of like irregularness to it, you know what I mean? Can't let it be too rounded.
Sure.
Almost looks like an erection.
Hey, we're streaming. Yeah, I don't like
Tuck it in further.
I don't like this thin rock there in the middle, yeah. Is that like a giant old leftover or something?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So fun fact about live rock, a lot of it is literally fossilized coral skeleton that's just built upon each other. It's built upon itself over and over and over. But like, if you guys can see it all this, you can see the striations in the rock that shows that this was actually one large piece of coral at one point in the past. It's pretty crazy. So that's, as you can see right now when he's holding up, that is actually a very easily visible coral skeleton that's on there. Because when coral grows, some of it actually creates a calcium bone-like structure that it is basically part of its actual exoskeleton. We can see what that little guy looks like up here.
Yeah, I picked that one out. I thought it'd be cool, but some people don't like that. I'm liking the distribution between the two islands right now. Making that left one a little smaller and more compact
Yeah.
is looking nice.
Yeah, I was wanting to make sure that the right side was a little bit taller than the left side.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to make sure that the left side had some sort of, had like a little bit of character to it. And the nice thing is there's still some gaps between the rockwork that like littler guys can get into and stuff, but then there's some bigger ones in the rockwork over here, so that way if somebody needs to have some privacy or something like that, and need to get away from a more aggressive tank lead at the moment, that they have places to go. I'm thinking this is pretty good. I mean, if you guys have a couple of them that you want to bring back when you come back with the other
Yeah, I'll bring you a couple buckets anyways.
Yeah, just so that we can continue to mess with it.
Sounds good.
But other than that, it's looking good.
You mind if I snap some pictures?
Go for it, yeah.
Cool. I told my friend that we were installing a tank and he had a live stream and he said I should yell poggers.
There you go. You're welcome to yell poggers.
Very original joke.
Is slate good or bad mixed? Let me read this. Hang on. Music at my house. So as far as the colors go, Mini Fluff, we're gonna get this whole thing lit up eventually, and there's gonna be more colors than you can imagine. Right now is just kind of the basics that we're working on at the moment. But is slate good / bad mixed? Rephrase the question, Ben. I don't quite understand. Are you talking about like slate rock?
It's like rock.
I was gonna say slate rock is not good for a saltwater aquarium. Trying to figure out where the levels I can get a T here. Because I feel like, so I like this part, but I feel like I'd rather have like this over here, but then we need something supporting this so that it doesn't fall. Like this almost, something this like size over here.
We'll grab a couple bigger pieces too and come back.
Yeah. Something this size over here, but then something that still lets this kind of jut out a little bit this way. Maybe I can even, that might be too much. We can see. Because my original aquascaping that I ever did was based off of plane and tank aquascaping for, what's it called? There's like that Japanese art style. Yeah, yeah. So trying to have, I'm kind of going for that sort of look almost.
Yeah.
There we go. That's not actually that bad.
Right?
No, that's not bad at all.
Because then it has that kind of directional. The bigger thing is basically pointing at the little thing as part of it, as part of the flow that you.
We were talking comparatively about escaping reef tanks versus freshwater tanks, and the reef community is like miles behind the freshwater community as far as like hardscape design.
Oh, I believe it.
Most reef tanks are just piles of rubble, you know? And it
Mhm.
looks phenomenal when you add all the corals and everything, but
Yeah.
like, so there's so much more thought that typically goes into the hardscape on freshwater tanks.
Yeah. And even like the size and the shape of the plants and everything.
Yeah.
And,
That's like my preferred medium for sure, but live rock is fun.
It is fun,
It's like a difficult puzzle.
right? Because you're working with, non-normal shaped pieces.
Very
that
very
are-
irregular
that
pieces.
You have to balance on top of
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah, it's hard to get like a great idea of how it'll look until you get some corals in and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I know, and that's honestly, the coral changes the aquascape over time.
Definitely.
So it's just going to become a part of it. It's just a matter of what's going to work out the best.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the height of the right one, but I don't think I'm a fan of the fact that it's rounded on that top piece.
Yep.
However, it might actually be the best for now, because if I do end up doing some like easy sticks or something up there, that's going to provide the texture.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my mind, I'm seeing like a completed reef, right?
Right.
And that's where it gets a little bit tricky. Is you look at it and you see like, oh, here's what I want it to look like when it's done. I need to look at just the skeleton essentially of it to see what's going to build up into it. But as far as like putting plugs and stuff on it, that might actually be better to have it that flat. But then we start with it there. as opposed to finding a piece that is textured already. Because the rock itself, I don't have a problem with. I was just like thinking, like, oh man, I really wish that there was something on top of that. I was like, wait a second, that's what the coral's for.
Right. The height's good. It is a little rounded there.
And it's still below the water level line that I could see the lowest possible that we could go with the overflows, which is also good. So otherwise, you look at a partially submerged tank. Is what you're gonna end up doing. And some people do that, but it's not on my to-do list, at least for this tank.
Can I help you at all, Derek?
Oh, you had slate in your freshwater tank then? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, some people do use slate in freshwater tanks. It's not, it doesn't really affect water chemistry as much in freshwater, to my knowledge, as it does in saltwater.
Like the lace rock is really the only one that really affects pH that I'm aware of.
Holy rock.
We don't carry that, do we? That's what it's called. That's what
For like freshwater tanks and stuff.
Right.
Gotcha.
Get one of those off.
No, slate in a freshwater tank is not a bad idea. I mean, it's definitely something that a lot of people use. It's usually pretty cheap to get a hold of. You can make some interesting structures with it.
What's that? Post corners?
Yeah, we're gonna put one.
I don't think you brought it down.
Yeah, just you pull one out.
I mean, I thought it was a big bag. You need anything else from up there? Covers?
Yeah, grab that bag of hose clamps in the middle of the.
I'm wondering maybe I can move this to be a little bit more centered too here. No, I went the wrong way with it. Let me look at what's actually happening in the video. Oh, good to notice we had a viewer who let us know that the Twitter link is broken. I'll need to fix that because it's hard for you guys to follow on Twitter to find the updates and everything about this tank and whatnot if the Twitter link isn't working. This is, you know, without too much name writing, it's a Columbia shirt, but these are sketched Mickeys going for a hike on there. It's a very comfortable sweater. I don't know if Columbia still carries it. I got it like last year in the middle of the pandemic. But if you didn't know, Sealed 7, Mrs. Plasm and I are big Disney fans. I'm a bigger Disney fan than she is, though, because I'm 6'6" and she's 5'3". So. Oh, there's, in order to get that to stay, the screws are in the blue right there underneath, because it's like you can do filter socks or you can do filter floss, blah, 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 and I just haven't got it together yet. Otherwise, it doesn't stay together very well.
I definitely saw that bag clamp somewhere. Must be done.
True. We have another trip planned to Disney World this December. So we're hoping that enough of the pandemic is over by then, and maybe they'll have the shows and everything back. So fingers crossed.
You got a few loose ones in here, but there was a big bag of them.
Anybody who's just joining us right now, thank you so much for stopping by. I apologize for the audio quality. We're kind of hanging out in my basement here, which is not exactly set up for streaming. That's why we have the office in the first place. But this is where the event is happening. This is where we are building a 180-gallon aquarium. This is going to be a saltwater aquarium that is live rock and live sand that you see in there. And eventually we'll have fish, although not today. We have to let something happen called a cycle. And what you may hear people in the aquarium probably talk about a cycle. A cycle is referring to the nitrogen cycle. So what happens as the tank is sitting there filled with water, ammonia starts to develop. And then there's a bunch of bacteria that need to go and turn that ammonia from ammonia into nitrite. And then from nitrite into nitrate. So then after that happens, it can be exported depending upon the different methods that you use, whether you use a skimmer or whatnot. But long story short, the chemical composition of the water has to even out, essentially, once you get this whole thing started back up. But the fact that we're using live rock and live sand kind of expedites that process. And then on top of it, I'm going to be using something to jumpstart the process as well. Let me find it over here.
Dr. Tim's one and only?
I do believe so. Yeah, that or they will. Decided to invest in some Hannah supplies.
Right.
Make those checks a little bit easier, a little bit quicker.
Did you get a digital refractometer too?
I have a handheld one. I don't remember if this one comes with it or not. This one is alkalinity calcium phosphate. This one is nitrate, and this one is nitrite. I think those are the ones I grabbed initially.
Alright. So we're going to have to cut this with the lunch cup. Rag nose it's over there by the road.
So, did you hear from Ben yet?
Yeah, he said he's got the water all ready for us, so. I figured, yeah. We'll get these two hooked up, water test the overflows, pour all the water into the display, run back, get the coupler, the rest of the water.
We got one of those in the shop?
I'm gonna look.
Treats up to 240 gallons. Dr. Tim's.
And that's the one and only.
You got it. In case you guys haven't seen this before, which you probably haven't, this is Dr. Tim's one and only. Hopefully that's visible in shot. Actually, it's kind of zoomed in, so let me put it back out here. So Dr. Tim's one and only. This container has live nitrifying bacteria in it, which is what we're talking about, that bacteria that needs to actually go and do stuff, or go and start the nitrogen cycle, or let's say expedite the nitrogen cycle for your tank. Best by January 2022. We've got a little bit of time. And if you guys, for some reason, need like a miter box or something, I do have those if we need to make any adjustments on things.
I'm gonna have to shuffle the sump to get it on this side.
I'm looking to go next September with a few friends, couple of noobs. It doesn't run. Oh, fair enough. That sounds very exciting. By next September, do you mean September of 2021, sealed 7, or do you mean 2022? 2022, nice. Nice. We're currently scheduled for December of this year and then March of next year. So hopefully they bring back annual passes, because if they bring back annual passes, that'll make tickets real easy. How are you guys doing, by the way? You need water or anything, or?
Do you have a restroom down here I could use, or?
Not down here, but if you go up the stairs and you take a left before you head out the front door, it'll be on your left right before the garage.
Appreciate it.
You got it?
Well, I was hoping you were just gonna say, yeah, no, we don't have one for you.
No, there's some woods back out here behind the house, but you know, don't let the neighbors see you.
Take it straight.
Those fish that suck on the side of the tank and clean it, do they come in saltwater variety? Plecos are not a saltwater variety fish, and to my knowledge, they don't have any saltwater varieties of plecos, or anything like it really, the ones that stick to the sides and suck on the side. They are very cool. The sucker fish, if you will. We have, I mean, they do have plenty of fish that are involved in cleaning algae off of things. Like tangs are actually good algae control, because they'll go and they'll graze on rock all day, finding those little bits of algae and everything to nibble off. But they leave coral alone, which is nice.
Active herbivores.
Yep, active herbivores. Ooh, one thing we should probably make sure happens. The skimmer getting in to there, through the top. The nice thing is the top of the skimmer comes off. And I think if we fit it sideways, it should work. It just takes a little bit of finagling. I want to make sure that none of the heaters are going to be touching the skimmer once it's in there. So we don't have to have them plugged in, but... Alright. Everything's fine, nothing is ruined. That would be a very bad time to find out that the skimmer didn't fit.
That works.
We'll have to, and it'll have to be turned a bit so that way we can get the heaters and stuff in. So the heaters can't touch the skimmer and whatnot. But
Well, the heaters are probably too long to throw underneath your socks, aren't they?
oh yeah, they are too long. So they have to go in that middle chamber with the skimmer. So the way that I had them set up before we took them off was there was one above this slit and there's one below on the ground, and then there was two on the wall over here underneath this, and then carefully position the skimmer. It didn't allow it to touch any of them. So that's the goal. But then still being able to get this off is the other tricky part. I mean, it obviously will come off, but getting it cleaned is going to be a little bit.
Getting it off and not spilling it when you're getting it out.
Yeah. Any thoughts, tips, or tricks?
This is pop off with the screw.
It pops, like you have to there's, yeah. Like usually what I do is I'll take like a flathead screwdriver here and just kind of work my way around with it to like in a little bit.
Part of me is thinking get a real small drill bit, a piece of water to make yourself a drain.
Or it would drain to
Well, no, you just put like a little
plug.
little plug on it or a little valve, and then almost just take a cup and drain it in the cup and get it out. I don't know how ambitious you want to be.
Let me see.
I mean, this is a tall cup, so you probably won't have to empty more than once a week, if that.
Yeah.
So.
What I did before was got in here and then I just went around, just kind of loosened it. So,
You got clearance to get in and out. Maybe just don't push it all the way down.
as long as it has enough of a seal that the bubbles still come up, right?
Well, the bubbles will come up anyways.
Yeah. I think it'll be okay. We'll just have to, I just have to make sure that I keep up on it so that way it doesn't get too full for some reason and then it's a mess to try and get out. So, but once a week is.
I think once a week will be fine.
Okay. Do you think while we're doing this we can try to see if we can get the heaters in here too?
No, Cobalt Aquatic shout outs.
Yes, Cobalt Aquatic, the provider of these lovely heaters. But by provider, I mean I bought them from them. Nobody's sponsoring this video besides me. Okay. And then what I think I was doing was I kind of did both of the temperature check ones on one side so that way the wire can go kind of around back instead of trying to like bunch up the wire in the same place. So kind of went in here. We'll probably do the bottom one first. Go around the back of the skimmer.
So are you gonna start a YouTube channel now with the aquarium?
I do have YouTube channels as well.
For the aquarium already?
Oh, not for the aquarium specifically, no. But I do have a YouTube channel in general for just all my Twitch videos end up there because Twitch only holds on to the videos for 60 days. And I kind of just go over there and I can catalog everything at once. You'll probably be at a better angle to get this side if you want to put that one kind of like down over there. Just temporarily here. Long wood. Alright.
You want to go on the side or on the bottom?
On the side, because on the bottom there's not going to be enough room. So it'll be, so the second one will go on the side above it, and then the other one's going to go over here.
And you want the temp one on that side?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best bet, don't you?
Yeah.
The only thing is this. Why are you going low? Are you staying on a cord somewhere?
Yeah, on this right side too.
No, I gotta do that. Like we're playing with the heaters.
Alright, come in there.
Yeah, I gotta move the whole stump over though.
Well, no, see, that's not gonna work because we're playing with the heaters.
Yeah.
It's not allowed, it's not permissible. This one. There. That way it's not anywhere that could ever run dry in a sump in a million years.
Surprised how often you see something run dry.
Even with the water level up here.
Yep. Most of the time, it's when the return pump fails and or the I've seen it too where the overflow gets clogged, so the return pump just keeps sucking and the evaporation just brings it all the way down.
Oh, well is that people who don't check their tank in like a week or like
Months.
months? Oh, we see. We don't go over anywhere that long, so.
Months.
And I can mess with the wires and everything. That'll just make it a little
Summer is cool. This way.
There's a latch back here. There's a notch that's meant for these, so they can kind of go back that way. I'll let you guys.
Euros are sweet.
I was saying, I was looking at videos of them, and I'm excited to see how they work. So
Numbers we can go next. Yep, that's not very nice.
these are going to be the workhorses of the aquarium. So they're narrow 5 submersible pumps, and what they do is they basically generate the current inside the tank. Not electrical current, hopefully, but water current. So that way you actually get sort of wave action in a way to kind of distribute the nutrients as well as help with gas exchange, so there's enough oxygen that gets into the water. Thanks for still lurking, it's B. The fish that are going to be in here may not be as cool as the plecos to you, Ben, but at the same time, they're going to be pretty darn cool when they get here.
More expensive than a Plego.
They are more expensive than the plecos. I mean, some of the fancy plecos, I feel like. Which I never really understood personally, but hey, I'm not as big as a pleco guy as they are.
Do you want to run these off the back like we talked, or do you want to go off the front?
Let's go off the back, because then we'll put the arrows on the sides like we were talking about, yeah.
Are you gonna lengthen the arrows so they talk to each other?
Are we gonna what?
Lengthen the arrows so they talk to each other?
I didn't know that was a thing.
The Line AI app on your phone, and then you can have them link to each other so you can have them like go in the wave motion.
Oh.
Then you can actually create a wave in the aquarium.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Derek, we need a set of eyes over here.
Yeah, how's that work for you?
Squeezing this tube thing in here. And then,
We were just talking about how if we set up the aquarium in such a way that, so those pumps have a Wi-Fi capability to them, and that Wi-Fi capability allows them to kind of switch off back and forth in a way that would actually make some wave action at the top of the tank. Not whitecaps, mind you, hopefully, but a little bit of some undulation to the surface of the water. One, that would be good for gas exchange, but then two, it simulates real ocean a little bit more effectively.
Technology's come a long way.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'm not familiar with, because I've never done that in a tank before. Are there any concerns with like the lids or with like, not overflow necessarily, but just like?
If you want to overflow, it'll overflow.
I don't want them to overflow. I'm saying is there things to
Don't
be
have that full
concerned about?
capacity. But yes, it's definitely possible. My my first tank, I did MP10. It was like that. I had water sloshing on that side. Just cranked up to 100% and put it on a wave crest. And
I definitely do that. Yeah, I was gonna say I plan to run them at 100%. At least I hope I don't need to.
that's where all the fun is.
Given that we have carpet in the basement, I would prefer not to have any issues with the water. The reason I'm doing it on the basement level is worst case scenario, if we did, there's a sump pump in the next room.
Right.
But at the same time, the carpet would have to all go and, you know, all this other messy stuff. So, let's just not have that be an issue.
And it's really easy to get back in there, and it's not as easy to get back out.
Yeah.
So do we like slip a thread over here? It just needs to be retightened?
It
Or
just needs to be retightened.
from back in there? Great.
If you guys are starting about the channel for the first time and you're having a good time and you want to learn more about aquariums, make sure to hit follow so that way you can be up to date with the progression of this tank. Today, the things that we're getting done, we're getting it completely plumbed with soft plumbing. And then we are going to be and then we're going to be filling it with water and getting the pumps running. Once that's done, it's going to be up to the tank itself to do its own cycling. And we will wait. I won't make you sit and watch while we're waiting just because it won't be the most exciting of things to sit there and literally just watch it with nothing in it for, you know, the week or so that it's going to take to do the cycle. But after that, the first fish that'll probably be in are going to be the ones that I had previously in another aquarium that have been graciously held by Watercolors Aquarium Gallery, who is doing our install today. We will see those, but the other ones that I want to have included, they take a little while to get in. They have to come to the shop, they have to go through quarantine to make sure that they're healthy, they have to make sure that they're eating. They take really, really good care, Watercolors does, to make sure that the fish that you're getting are the best bet for your aquarium to do well for a long time. Every single fish that I've gotten from them has lived a very, 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 very long time, including some of the fish that were notoriously a little bit trickier to keep, like the leopard wrasse that I have.
Pour a little salt water in the bucket and we start pouring down these overflows just to retest them.
Yep.
I think my picture for that will show too. So what we're doing now is we're going to pour a little bit of water down in the overflows to leak test. That way, if it's not watertight, we don't have to drain a couple hundred gallons of water to fix the problem or have it all over.
So it's better to find this now.
Right, ready?
Yep.
Drips underneath. Yep. We'll give it for a minute and we'll switch sides. Yep. Got one or no? Huh?
Just don't go with that. No, it's not even at the bulkhead, it's just out the back, so. So that was on you.
Yep, that will be.
You are the weakest link.
Yeah, I hear that regularly. Alright, who's good? Switch this side. Yep.
That's very true. I didn't see your comment before, Sealed 7. Yeah, the Pacific Cleaner Shrimp. They will actually work on the fish themselves as they go through. If they let them. But some of them actually really appreciate the cleaning job that the shrimp do, so they'll kind of go through the car wash
Well,
for
we got
stuff.
drips on this one. Oh.
That's the dry line. the drain line, isn't it? It's gonna be right here. That's where I see it up top.
Nope, it's actually where your fitting is.
The bulkhead?
Nope, the tube fitting.
Why is it on the glass right here?
Oh, that's both because it's definitely come through. Yeah, it is. Well,
So you wanna hit that.
you got the smaller one nearby?
And it's a good job that we checked on to make sure that we were not going to have any leaks, because we found a couple of small itty bitty ones that just need some small adjustments, but no big deal. It just takes a small twist or turn here and there of some bulkheads, and we should be golden.
Yeah, I was actually quite loose.
Just centering the picture a little bit better so that way you guys have more of the fish tank to look at rather than the rest of the basement, which happens to be quite cluttered at the moment with all the fish tank supplies.
Come up with a name for the tank yet?
A name for the tank. I have not yet come up with a name for the tank. But this is the Highlander house, so we'll see if it'll be a similar name, because there can be only one.
I was already gonna say that, you beat me to it.
Why? It's like they didn't build them correctly.
If I come down and hold, if I hold. I don't think I can get at it when you're holding it there. Get on it first.
So fun fact, not just any lights can grow coral. You actually have to have special LEDs with different spectrums and everything in order to make sure that the small creatures inside the coral can produce energy photosynthetically. So that's why the lights that you have often are basically simulating the sun.
See, I got just on it. Come in here. So this. You got your rings in there for sure?
Yeah, they're in there. Hey, why don't you slide out and then put the bucket there? Hold it. Tell me when you're ready.
The holes in the bottom of the tank work.
Now try and put something on it. Oh, there I got it.
What do you want?
Try and turn it. Now I got my finger in it.
So that piece that you just saw and pulled out right there is part of what's known as the overflow in the back. So eventually what happens is water goes over the top of those back parts, right? Once it's in those back parts, it fills up the back, and then it actually gets to that overflow where it forms a bit of a siphon that actually pulls it down into the sump below. And they're just making sure that the connection fittings are tight there so that way there's no leaking at the point where it meets the glass.
I mean, I just got a few turns with my fingers, so.
Very important thumb with plumbing. Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Ah, yes. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. It is tricky to remember.
Or if it's upside down.
True. You have to imagine which way you're looking at it. True. You have to imagine.
You can get a screwdriver one.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that one too.
The plan for the rest of the day. Well, once they have the plumbing secured and everything like that, we're gonna fill it with water. They're gonna go and grab a couple other pieces of live rock from the shop, and then some more water to go with it. And we'll get the water circulating through the bottom of the sump, as well as back into the tank, and then we'll just kind of let the tank sit after that. And then I've got work all this weekend, so that's why today was the day that it worked out best.
It makes me feel like we, no, I'm going the same way, like I broke a thread, that's why it's tightening, it's real tight, and all of a sudden it loosens, still going the same direction. That's the thing about using heavy duty metal bulkhead wrenches on plastic bulkheads.
You get sharp ones sometimes.
Yes. You wanna take a peek down here? Like I'm getting a ton of turns out of it to the point where it's slowing down, it's getting tight, and then it's all of a sudden loosening up.
Always good to make sure you keep your tools separate from the tools of people that are working. That way they don't get mixed up.
Put your finger in there and try to hold it.
You didn't miss it, GB Wolf. Thank you so much for stopping by. We're still in the process. There's not even water in it yet. So you are just on time. And it wasn't even that bad to bring through the window either. I dare say it was actually one of the easier parts.
Actually, what I'm gonna do is undo that hose.
It wasn't even that bad to bring through the window.
Really focus on the bulkhead before you get the hose on.
Right? And unfortunately, there will not be any fish going into this today. But in not too long, there will be. We have to wait for the nitrogen cycle to complete first. But between the live rock, the live sand, and the nitrifying bacteria that I have from Dr. Tim, hopefully it won't be a very long cycle at all. The one thing we'll have to see is if I can get the My AI app to like factory reset, because I forgot my password on it a long time ago when I had an AI Prime. And hopefully it'll let me, just use whatever I need to get those Wi-Fi pumps running.
That hold it with a match.
Right. Here. We should just pop it out, take a look at it.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to get really a shot of it coming through the window, but I can show you the window that it came through. So this big tank right here came through this window. We just slid it to the side and it went right on in.
All over there.
Quite easily, actually. So there was about an inch of clearance on each side, but we had 2 people inside and 2 people outside, and then we just kind of paused partway through. And then we had the other people run in and kind of pick up the slack, and it wasn't too bad. We just put some moving blankets and everything. Oh, there you go.
This is how fun it is.
The first casualty of the day.
It's not casualty. Just a little wet.
Where's that bucket? There's one in there, sir.
Oh, that's right. Alright. I was gonna boil it down and check it.
Yep. You got the hose on or?
It's on?
It's on.
Maybe we get down there and take a peek.
Trust ya. Is this your phone there?
It's not mine.
I want to step on it.
Would you have stepped on it if it was his phone?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
I mean,
Ready?
it's already all cracked.
Leak testing number 2.
So far, so good.
If you set up an aquarium and it doesn't leak the first time, it's usually bad luck.
Okay, fair enough. The first little bit of water is going into the display.
Oh, right.
Oh, I was gonna go get that power strip for you guys.
Watch these rod screws. I'll ship it to the finish.
Good to go?
Watch the rod screws. We're probably gonna be on the overflows anyways, so.
Tipton?
Let me know when you're done on your hands. This is top right here. I caught it with.
Mrs. Platinum's gonna be running to the store to grab your power strip because apparently she used the one that I thought we were gonna use for the game systems. But she'll be back shortly. If nothing else, we can obviously start with just the return pump on.
Cool. Well, we got, before the return pump, we gotta run, we have to have enough water in there for the cycle.
That makes sense to me.
You, Are you getting like a 20,000 joule, 17 outlet, 4 USB port?
No, probably just one with like 6. You know, the standard one that has a little indicator on it for when it's been tripped, because it's just going to be from Meyer. And then I'll order one online later that's nicer and then switch it over. Something that'll be good for today. Although they are, when they're doing the electrical work, they're going to be installing an outlet that has audible trip. So if it is tripped due to like moisture or something like that, it'll actually have an alarm that goes off.
Nice.
So.
So what are the names of your fish?
So the 2 clownfish are Dasher and Dancer.
Okay.
The cardinal is Peppermint, and then the leopard wrasse is Mistletoe.
I accept the thief.
Mm-hmm. We are also big fans of Christmas around here, so if you hadn't gathered by the hand-painted art on the wall over there, that was actually my grandmother that painted it. But that's just where it's going to be for now. I want to get like a coral, like a ruby painting for there. But it looks really nice when you come down the stairs to start, so. Oh, we could put the Christmas tree in that corner.
Yeah.
That could be a good idea. As you can see, when water goes in for the first time, it is quite murky. And it's going to take some time for that water to settle down and look nice and clear.
Nope, but just in case.
There was actually a time when we considered naming our dog the Kraken. Because then we could say, release the Kraken. But, in fact, instead she is Puppyplasm. Well, we keep her real name a secret, you know, for privacy reasons, of course. She has to maintain her public image.
Got back there to see him in the live box volume, you know? Probably a little shy of 180.
But then we've got sump volumes.
Right. You're not done yet? Man.
Yes, Doggo's at the vet today, getting a little bit of some planned surgery, so she'll be a little bit out of it when she gets home, and she won't be getting home until more like between 3 and 5 p.m., so. True, that's true. That is an option for people. And I was finding out that I need to talk to Reef Breeders, the company that did the mount for my lights, because looking at them now, I am quickly realizing that they weren't actually milled correctly. So this piece right here is supposed to fit in here. And it doesn't really do that, because it's not the right shape. It's rounded in here, and this is not rounded. So therefore, I'm going to be sending them an email to get that figured out. It's a really cool concept, and I like it a lot. I'm sure it's going to be great when it's done. But right now, it is not very effective at actually holding up the lighting. So it looks like the lighting will be a touch delayed. But this is what the rest of the lighting system looks like. So it's going to hang on the back of the tank. Tank glass is going to go right here. And then, well, alright, so, and then this will hold it against the back so that way you don't have an issue. Now, I'm wondering, that's exactly what that's going to be
need for our lids is the only thing. And since we have to order new lids anyway, because that's going to be an issue. Or not.
Hello?
Hi, this is Tim from Family Friends. Jeannie's in MSR group. She did great. As usual, she did wonderful. This
Alright.
very straightforward.
Okay.
If you have a minute, go over to your discharge instructions.
I want to leave this piece here. Sort that out later.
Okay.
Sure. Sorry for the brief pause there, everybody. Hopefully my mic is still connecting over here to the channel. Got a call because Puppy Blossom is officially done with her surgery. She is still in recovery part of it, but everything went well. So that's good to hear. So a lot of exciting things happening today. We will see you back shortly. I'll leave the front door open.
Okay.
So that we should be good to go. These kind folks are headed out. They're going to grab a couple things from the shop still and come back. They need more water because obviously the water level that we have here is not the water that is going to end up being. And just in case people haven't seen the size of this tank, I'm giving you the perspective. I'm 6'6", and when I stand in front of this tank, I can just barely reach from corner to corner. So it is quite sizable. But it's exactly what we wanted. Yes, we will make sure. Apparently she'll be quite sleepy for 12 to 24 hours, but that is what we expected.
Alright, we have a little bit of shifting. We move the water in, not much.
Okay.
So a couple of hours are just kind of set in there. Kind of the way until we get everything in.
Sounds good. We can move the sand bed around a little bit and
Yeah,
everything without much
readjust.
issue. Yeah.
We're coming back with water, we're coming back with live rock.
Okay.
I think that's it.
All right.
Wrapping it up.
We'll make sure that it's going through everything that we need to,
Yes,
and
sir.
then we'll be good for the day.
Right on.
Okay.
Cool. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit. Right. So, fun fact: if any of you saw Mrs. Blossom briefly, she would easily be able to lay down in this tank if there wasn't rock in it, mind you. But she would easily be able to fit because she's 5'3". She'd have 7 inches of headroom. She could comfortably lay in there. She'd fit in there better than like a bathtub or something. All right. Whew. So while they're out, I'm going to be hanging out here for a moment to chat with you all and see what you think of the progress that we're making on the tank. Again, we don't have a name for it yet. Maybe we should come up with a name. Maybe that'll be a contest on the channel or something like that. We can make a poll or something along those lines to see what should we name this lovely, quite small, right, fish tank that is going to be installed in the basement. I mean, it is mostly installed. You guys have seen it for yourselves. It is mostly full of water. They're just going to come back with some extra water and some extra rock, so that way we can continue to mess around with the aquascape. Although now that there is some water in there, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to see exactly the shape of the aquascape because of the murkiness. But that murkiness will settle down over time. Obviously, fish tanks look very clear once they're there, but all that sediment gets stirred up when you're pouring that extra water in. But yeah, how's everybody's day going? And fish, yes. No fish today. There will be no fish today. I don't want people to get their hopes up too high. The way that it works is once the water and everything's in there, we have to let the tank do something called a cycle. And that cycle means, without getting too complicated into chemistry and everything, it's going to take about a week, at least, maybe 2 weeks, before it is safe for fish to be in there. Otherwise, the chemical composition of the water might stress the fish, which can lead to illness of the fish and otherwise poor health of the fish. We just don't want that. You know, fish are friends, not food, except for the ones we eat. But they are my pets. You know, just like Puppy Plasm is my pet. They are not just a fish. They are my pets. That's why it's, you know, I'm putting such a thing together because I want to have my own slice of the ocean, you know, in my home. And they are very much living animals, just like that. So we got to make sure that they are going to be safe and comfortable and happy. So in about 2 weeks' time, I'll probably post some updates in the meantime on the Twitter page, which I have to figure out why the Twitter link isn't working. Thank you so much, by the way, to one of our viewers for letting me know that the darn Twitter link and the bottom of my video is not working. Let me go there right now and see if I can figure out why that is. Because it was supposed to be very straightforward. But sometimes chaos reigns. Let me see. Sorry, unless you've got a time machine, this content is unavailable. Weird. Why? And how do I change it? Maybe if I edit this. Maybe if I go here. Oh, you know what I'm wondering? Maybe that's why people haven't been following me on Twitter. I feel really bad. Let's do this. Submit. Now, is there anybody right now that can go and hit the Twitter link? If you scroll down on this video, there's a button that says, there's a header that says Twitter. If you click it, it should be a button to take you to my Twitter page. Can you confirm with me that that's actually working now? Because none of y'all apparently were doing that before. Maybe it just broke, I don't know. But yeah, Sealed 7, check that out. It works, cool. So now you'll be able to find out when I'm doing unexpected streams. Like today was an unexpected stream. I had the day off of work. I'm gonna be working all weekend as well as the next 4 days after that. So 6 days in a row, woo. But I had the day off today, and other times when I'm doing unexpected streams, other than Tuesdays and Thursdays, because Tuesdays and Thursdays are my scheduled streams from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will find out about them there. I try very, very hard. I'm not the best at it. I'm getting better with tweeting, but that'll be there. You'll also be able to see step-by-step pics of how we make Chaos Banana Nights, which are going to be the next giveaway as well when we reach 100 followers, and then other things like puppy plasm shots. The Plasma Aether Refuel Tank MKY Party. Maybe. Refreshing works. Cool. Sounds good. Glad you could find it. Glad that it works. Let's see. I wonder if I have... Oh no, my phone's downstairs right now, currently as the other camera that's up right. So I can't tweet from there as opposed to with the ability to put up more pictures. But there will be more. There will be more. So. But informative, yes. What do you guys want to know? What questions do you have? I know that I talk a lot and sometimes I don't talk enough. So tell me what you want to know more about the tank. What you want to know more about the process. I can tell you more of the fish. I can try to find some pictures. The tweeter is tweeting. Good. Right? Don't step on the Twitter. We can go through and I can show you some of the pictures of the fish that I'm going to be getting here. If you want. If that'd be fun. We can do... so they happen to have names related to Christmassy things because Christmas is a very big thing in my household between Mrs. Plasma and I, and then Puppy Plasm too. It's definitely something very, very important to us to have as names for there. Obviously, Puppy Plasm is not named something Christmassy. Puppy Plasm is named Puppy Plasm. And maybe we'll name the fish Plasm related things. Who knows? Only time will tell. But in case there's anybody wondering, let's go over here and let's see if I can show off a couple of things. We'll do this. Let me find some stuff here that I can show off in the meantime. So, if you were wondering what we're going to be doing the giveaway of, for the 50 followers, the giveaway was for a hand-painted miniature of a Chaos Banana Knight, which is this. This is a Chaos Banana Knight. The Chaos Banana is going to be an emote, either that or you know how you can do bits eventually when you're a Twitch affiliate. It's that I've made custom. I've drawn up my own image for it. Obviously, this is the painted one. That was one that was given away. Let me see if... There you go. There's the Chaos Banana. That's going to be the eventual hype. So when things are bananas or when things are chaos on stream, you'll be able to spam those or show your cheers with those as well. And then I also recently finished work on another emote as well. I'm still working on the dancing Fafnir, but let me quick send this one to myself over here of the plasmid that I drew up. Select view, and I'm going to share as that to Gmail. Okay, so that should be fine there. So that's the Chaos Banana Knight. Let me pull up the Plasmid. The Plasmid does not have a name yet, but it is something that you could probably use when we have somebody who has recently joined as a follower or eventual subscriber, that we can support them by showing off in chat. Because, as I will show you momentarily, the Plasmid is given a good old salute to new Chaos Banana Knights. Download that. Right there. The Plasmid. Giving us good old hearty salute. Let's see if I can save it as a different name here. Plasmid large. There. But yep, so that's the Plasmid. That's one of the other emotes that I finished work on. And then I am working on a Dancing Fafnir for when we're doing MechWarrior Online and we get the Wub Wub machine going. I'm gonna get a specific Wub Wub emote going too. And yeah, there's more on the way. There's more. There'll probably have to be a Fishtank related one too. So since we have this monstrosity of a tank going. Now you may be thinking that Aetherplasm, 180 gallon fish tank, that sounds incredibly large, and it is big. Obviously, it is big, but it is not necessarily a giant fish tank. It is a large fish tank, especially in the saltwater world. Between anything less than 220 is just a large fish tank. Once you get up to the 300 or the 500 or the 750 range, those are giant fish tanks. Like, I know some people, not personally, but I am a member of forums and everything online where people will routinely build fish tanks themselves, and instead of like having that fish tank that we brought like delivered, they will go and they will construct an actual part of their house with the fish tank, and it only has like one glass part, which is like the front wall, and the rest is like basically a pool, an indoor pool for the size of stuff. Like, there's this one person who has like a 30,000 gallon fish tank that they have to scuba dive in order to clean. So the statics are tough. What do you mean by that, GB Wolf? Just to clarify, so I know what we're talking about. Otherwise, I could be on a completely different topic than the rest of you guys. I'm digging this relaxing background music, though. I totally found it. I was like, I want something to be in the background because it's not something I'm always going to be able to be talking through the setup process of. And I feel like I was pretty happy with what we found. At that size, the water pressure is massive. Oh, yes, that's true. Yep, exactly. So these people, they are like, the people who do this, they are builders, or they'll hire a contractor to do the build for them. And they basically, I know one person literally hired like a pool contractor, the people who actually make pools in like your backyard or whatever, in order to do the cement work for the walls around it. And they used some, crazy thick glass in order to do it. Similar process to what you'd have done at like aquariums at like zoos or just like, city aquariums. It's possible, but you got to make sure that you have the professionals who know how to do it. Yeah, that's why I just decided to go with 180. Although total water volume will be closer to probably 200, considering the fact that there's a sump underneath, and the sump will probably hold at least 20 gallons. As far as swimming room goes, it's 180, so it's a 6 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot tank. And the swimming room is actually what's most important when it comes to fish like tangs. So tangs, you may be familiar with the yellow tang from Finding Nemo, which is a very, very, very expensive fish right now, because previously they were only able to be collected from the wild, and then that was mostly in Hawaii, where they had like many of them, but now there were too many poachers and too many people doing it unsustainably, so Hawaii banned it. And there is only one company in the world that's been able to captive breed yellow tanks at this point, so there's a very small amount of them available. So therefore, they have to go and you have to wait a long time to get them, so they're very, very expensive. But that's the one you see in Finding Nemo. But the other tanks. Oh, I was gonna potentially show you some of the other ones. Let me see about showing you some of the other fish that you can expect in there. So let's see, Atlantic blue tang. So this is an Atlantic blue tang. They actually start off a little bit more yellow, and then they get this kind of bluish sort of velvety color as they go. And then a purple blue, or not a purple blue tang, just a purple tang. We're not gonna have a dory. At least that's not the initial plan. This is a purple tang. This is another fish that we're gonna have. It's got this beautiful yellow tail, purplish body with these stripes. Yep, the costs are definitely high. If you want to go for a fish tank that big, then cost is probably not a factor for you. Let's see, the Desjardini tang. These guys, this is possibly going to be the biggest fish in the tank. Let me switch over to this one so you guys can see a little bit better. There you go. This one's going to be the biggest fish in the tank when it's full grown. Beautiful fish, but they call it a sail fin for a reason, because this top fin is basically looks like a sail when it's fully extended. And then we have square tail, bristle tooth tang. Then we got this guy right here, the square tail bristle tooth tang. I like how that's got all the spots, and it's kind of like this reddish brownish color with a little bit of these yellow green highlights, and then we have this kind of light blue lasery sort of on the fins and everything. So yeah. And then what I have right now, that's waiting for me at the fish store, as it is because it's mine, is actually one. It looks a lot more like this. It's an ornate leopard wrasse. So that's what mistletoe looks like, with the iridescent kind of bluish spots and the reddish body. And then we have a what's it called? Bengai. There we go. Bengai cardinal. And then we have phantom ice ocellaris, I think is what they're calling them. So they look. So there's so many different designer clownfish these days because they're able to captive breed them very successfully. So they kind of look like this, except for, so imagine, so they're not completely black. Yeah, so it's like a really, really deep orange. So not completely black like this one. Like a really deep orange close to black, but then just their nose has a little bit of orange. So kind of similar to this, but imagine these stripes are more orange than black. So the cardinals, the saltwater ones are very fragile. That's true. The cardinal fish, they're kind of solitary, but as long as they've got somewhere to hide and hang out, they don't really mind too much. They get along fine. I've seen other types of cardinal fish. Oh, this is actually, there we go. This is a lot better picture, a lot closer to what Dasher and Dancer look like. But yes, cardinal fish, they are compatible with tangs though, which is nice. Tangs are usually they're classified as semi-aggressive, but as long as they are different shapes or slightly different actual species than of tang, or like family line or whatever, then they're fine. And there's a way that you introduce them into the tank, which we'll get into in a different stream in the future, where you put them basically in a small clear box with some holes drilled in the side so water flow and everything gets in, and you set them in the tank. So that way none of the fish in the tank can attack them, and then they can't attack anybody in the tank until they're used to each other. And once they're used to each other and the fact that there's something new here, you can let them out of that box, and then they're fine because it's not new. Usually the issue with aggression comes with things that are new, especially in the fish world. Yeah, that's the initial plan. Going with some tangs first, and then eventually maybe we'll get some Antheus or things like that. We'll see. He had a little blowfish, and it was a monster as soon as I could put a card line attack. Yes, they are. There are puffers. Puffers are historically aggressive. That's why I had a dwarf lionfish at one point. That the only suitable tank mate for it was what was called a. It was a type of pygmy puffer angel, not pygmy puffer, pygmy puffer fish. And basically, it couldn't fit in the lionfish's mouth because it was just a dwarf lionfish. Like, it was only about the size of this D100. But it still had the, the stingers and the barbs and everything that you had to be careful of. But its tank mate was that I think it's called a saddle puffer fish. That's what I had. So, but no, neither of those things are going to be going into this aquarium. I had debated about possibly a triggerfish, but those are very aggressive, and you kind of need a predator-only tank to do that. One, they can nip at your corals, which is not a good thing, and then two, anything that they are bigger than, they might try to fight for dominance. So you don't want them going and taking out your expensive tanks and stuff. I do have a D100. That's because, like I said, I like to let chaos reign, and in the Dungeons and Dragons campaign that Ben runs, I have an ability. My character has an ability where it's called the Wand of Wonder, or the Cannon of Wonder is what we end up turning into. But when I use it, I have to roll the d20 to find one part of a chart of where I'm rolling between, and then of that chart I have to roll a d% or a d100 to find out which of the 100 possibilities from that section of the chart it actually happened. So pretty much as random number generatory as it can be. That's true. Yeah, you have to be careful of sticking your hand in a tank with the dwarf lionfish, because they are not happy about that kind of thing sometimes. Also, we have to have Ben over one of these times, and then try to figure out a solution for Ethernet. We've been doing okay today. We've been doing okay with making sure that we have enough internet speed. I haven't seen any lost frames, because in fact we haven't even been playing a game. But last week we had some real internet issues. The internet itself seemed fine, but the Google Mesh Wi-Fi extenders were causing us problems. And we're paying for like a gig of download speed, and we were definitely not getting that, and upload speed was even worse. So we're hoping to find a way to hardline to here, but we had an electrician out because there's going to be a little bit of electrical work that's going to be done for the tank, and it was a very, very, very significant cost that they wanted to try to run Ethernet from the basement up to the office here. So we're gonna see if we can find some other workarounds for that first, because that is not currently within the cards. Yes, exactly. Same sort of process, GB Wolf. And on this channel we like to let chaos reign. At least when we're gaming. Some of the things in life need a little bit of order. Because if that fish tank was chaotic, that would not be a good thing. It's going to actually have a very nice amount of order to it. It's going to have a very calming design. And I fully intend that when it is up and running, that I'll have streams where maybe I'll just literally have a side cam of it going, or just like that being one of the main cams, so you can just watch the fish swimming around and seeing everything in the current. If that's something that people want, that is. I would enjoy something like that. I don't know about everybody, but because we have people actually here viewing right now, I imagine some of you would. So we'll see. We'll try it out. Also, something that I've been trying to get more into too, as far as streaming goes. We have been playing a lot of MechWarrior Online, which is a lot of fun, and I'm definitely not stopping. But I might start trying to incorporate Magic the Gathering Arena, because I am a very large Magic the Gathering fan, and I, for the longest time, haven't had the opportunity to play in person with anybody because of COVID, right? And I didn't realize how good Magic the Gathering Arena has gotten. The only problem is I'm definitely a noob at Magic the Gathering Arena. Not because I'm inexperienced, but because I just don't have a very large card database, and I'm not just going to go and pay a bunch of money to go and expand that database really, really quickly when I already have investment in the physical cards. So instead, I'm gonna try to grind up and play through. So once I'm getting a little bit higher in that, then maybe I'll stream some of that as well. Yeah, right. It's fun, isn't it, GB Wolf? I like it a lot. I just wish that, you know, I had the amount of cards that I have currently, like in my closet, available to me that I do in the game. But, you know, it's fine. It's a challenge. It's, if nothing else, it really kind of pushes your limits. Deck building's always been something that I've never been the best at. I would do a lot of trial and error, a lot of trial and error until I finally got something that's worth doing. I'm not one of those people who necessarily can just pull it out of thin air and like, oh, this is the next hot deck that's coming out. But I think it could still be fun if people want to hang out and watch it. Nothing, and maybe we can even play against each other. Send you the codes for. Oh yes, thank you so much. Yeah, if you want to do that, that'd be amazing. I think you can whisper in Twitch, can't you? That's what they call it, like private messaging in Twitch, where you whisper to somebody. You still had it, oh right, if you still had all your cards. I started when I was about that age too, a little bit younger actually, probably in like 1997, 1998-ish. And I didn't have any dual lands or anything like that, but I definitely had some cards that were a lot higher value than I realized they were, and traded them away for things that were junk just because I thought they were cool. But that's what you do as a kid, you know. The internet wasn't around very much. You didn't really know just exactly what the value of things were going to be. And I did manage to pick up some cards in the not too distant past a few years ago that have now skyrocketed in price. I don't intend to sell them, but I like to have them for my collection and to use them. So I might be a hint earlier, or it might be. Fair enough. That's fine. Like I say, we could probably try to pull one of them up right now. I don't know if it'll let me between the things, but we can try it. Yes, sliver decks are a pain in the rear. I lost several FNM Friday Night Magic tournaments to a sliver deck, and then I specifically started sideboarding for a sliver deck in case I ran into it again. But yeah, while we're waiting, we'll see if we can. It shouldn't be too much longer, I think. I think the shop is about half an hour away, and then they have to load up and come back. So let's see which one of these. We'll try this one. This one might be okay for it. And we'll pause the background music right now. Whoops. Because this has its own music. Because right now I basically just have the beginner decks. It's kind of hit or miss. I've won quite a few matches, but at the same time, I'm basically playing with a pre-constructed deck because I just have very few other cards at my disposal at the moment. So, yes, Sliver Queen is absolutely obnoxious. I'm playing the Wartooth. All right. Let's see. We're gonna keep these whenever another creature in the battlefield gains life. Yep, that'll be fine. We'll give it a shot. But I feel like a lot of the people that I'm playing against have a lot better constructed decks than I do. That's for sure. Okay, that, and we'll get them out there. So every time a creature enters the battlefield, I can gain a life. Oh, that was familiar. Put that up there. Let's see if they're willing to block. Nope, they're not. And I'm gonna save that for later. Another one. So they gains life. Wow. Okay. Going well so far. There's a lot of stuff very. Let's see. Let's at least. See, I want to save the pacifism. And we'll do Did gain a life back for the Leonin war leader coming to play me. They're 3-color? See, they've actually put time and thought into it. They have the capacity to use. Let's. I want to save this for something. But we can do this actually. Yeah, let's do this. That. Cat tokens do a bunch of damage. Gain a bunch of life. So that way we can take a few hits from them for the fact that they were sitting around. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's oh goodness, they just gained some life too. Now I get to take some damage. But the joke's on them. Because I'm still going to save the pacifist in case they get a big monster out here. I'm going to attack with them all. Make some more kitty tokens. More kitty tokens with life leaks, mind you. So then I'm going to. I can use one of these. Lift him up so that way he's going to stay around, travel, and good amount of health. Up to 32, and end the turn. So just like that, it can turn around a little bit more quickly. Zephyr Gold. They gain a couple of life. And they're attacking. I am going to use this attack to create 3 white spirit tokens. But I'm not going to block anything. Because I would rather take the 1 damage. Because I've got plenty of life to spare at the moment. And just keep swinging at them with everything. Because they are not... Yep, they forfeited because I had the board state that wasn't going to be overcome. Woo! Nice to start off with a victory there. Magic the Gathering Online. I only got 50 gold and 20. And getting closer at least. It's kind of like a white weenie deck. White life game, I guess. But yeah, appreciate you hanging out with us for the pause here. It shouldn't be too much fun. We'll have to go back and then get back to the actual progress of the fish tank. Triune Legends. Okay, what do we got? We could try it. I don't have a lot of other options in this deck. I think I'm going to turn one unless I get one of the little kitties. Tactical advantage, okay. And I've got a fencing base. Well, no, I'm probably not gonna. Is this gonna be another 3-color one? Is it red and white so far? No blocks. I wanna keep that guy. Yeah, I know. Nope. Put the land down. Guess I could have used that. For now, though, put that down, and then we will attack just to get some damage in. And this time, he'll be prepared to attack again, except for I'm going to boost this guy up a little bit. Land return. This is cool, this little thopter thing over here. wonder if that's like a little friend that you can have. Whoa, what's that? Lifelink. Pegasus creatures control have lifelink concentration whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control. Create a 2. Okay, I see how this is going to be. Attacking with that, that's fine. I'm going to block here, there, and then I should be able to do. Why can I not do this? Block. There we go. Okay. Well, at least I got one of these. Great. I have 3 of these, so I can boost them when I gain life, but I need to actually gain life in order to do that. I'm gonna put down Leonin War Leader. No attacks. I'm gonna save this. Thank you so much, GB Wolf. I'll check it out momentarily. Is that within MTG Arena that you found those? Again, white and red, but I haven't seen anything red. I'm not really sure I want to. If he swings at me, next turn he's getting quite a few smacks in the face. Technically, I need 1 more for both of those. I only have 4 lands over here. I mean, I only have the starter deck, basically. Now that looks painful, and you get against Pegasus. Okay. They're leaving it. There's the extra land. So let's tap all the creatures that are in control. And all attack. Because they're going to be gaining some life this next turn. We need to have a little bit of and wow, these guys are getting big really fast. I like it. So we have 2, 6, 6. Both of these can play really fast. We need to go to the battlefield. Plus creature. Codes are put in online. Okay. On the home screen, click the store. All right, I'll look at that in a moment here. Gotta see how I'm probably gonna get my here in a moment. We'll see. So let's do this, and then we shall. Guessing we'll do one of those guys. Oh no, no, no. Cancel. Oh, I should have put him out first. Okay. Messed that up. Let's all attack. So he's probably gonna block one of the big ones, so the Leonin Warrior survives at least. Or War Leader, I should say. I've red and green I've had a lot of luck with in the past, but again, I just haven't made my own deck in here yet. Yeah, that's fine. Clear the board a little bit. Him up a little bit. And then we're gonna put out Sarah. They can't really attack, otherwise they leave themselves wide open. Because I have pretty close to lethal with everything here. Yep, you get one of us. One of us. I can take a few swings from that, but they're basically just, wow, how many Hallowed Priests am I going to have here? Oh, my land. Well, that out. Do this in the right order this time. We'll leave Sarah Angel back to block. We should get some 5/5s off of this. Oh wait, they can all attack because Sarah Angel can has vision. That's right. Yeah, I figured you'd take that. However, I'm going to boost both of these Hallowed Priests. I'm going to be in trouble the next time. Okay. We gain some life, so I can take some swings. And they can only block 3 of my creatures, so oh wait, but they have so much lifelink too. Oh, that darn Archon of Sun's Grace. I need a pacifism. I need a pacifism for that beast right there. That's not a pacifism. That's a land. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now they have enough creatures that they can realistically block a good amount of my stuff. Well, let's at least do our best here. We're just gonna smash face here, best we can. I just need one pacifism to put that, but it can't attack or block. But again, I'm playing basically a pre-constructed deck here, so I'm limited by even sacrifices that have to take place, right? Some more removal would be nice. Okay. There we go, extra lane. Woo! Pretty soon they're going to be able to start doing serious damage because they get so much health off of this darn Pegasus. It was looking good. Indestructible and flying. Cool. Yeah, no blocks. We can take a few hits. That does not really help us. But we'll put it out there anyway. We can jump block something with it. I guess we'll sit back. We're basically just using that Pegasus as a giant life gain machine for a wall. And even though we have a higher life total, the board state's definitely in their advantage. Oh, good. More enchantments. They get another unicorn. Or Pegasus. Yeah, ridiculous. I need something other than a... Let's see, that's 17, 19. And they're going to get a ton of life off of this. Ugh. Gross. Well, I'm at least going to block that. Next round's lethal. Oh, here's a pacifism. That would have been nice like 4 rounds ago. Well, I'm going to at least do that. There. Now you can't attack or block with it. And you're at 40 life, so obviously I can do lethal to you right now. See, if I wait, he's probably gonna... I can't block that, so he's easily got lethal, so I might as well, just for funsies, attack with everybody. I mean, you got me, dude. I'm just swinging it here with one last one. Yeah, I blocked this area. That's fine. So 1 win and 1 loss, it looks like it'll be for this introduction to MTG Online. On the stream, at least. But he's got me at lethal regardless, because I can only block, I only have 1 flying block. You can't attack or block with that. Why are you adding a counter to him? Not really sure about that, but okay. You're just gonna let me sit here and do, you have something that you planned? You have me at lethal. You had me at lethal if you didn't attack. Okay. I'm not really sure why that happened the way it did. But I guess I'll do that. Yeah, I didn't think so. I was like, why didn't you just swing with everybody? Oh well. Can't win them all. Let's see. We'll go over to our decks. show you the cards that like I do have available. So this is what we have as far as the actual deck goes. Let's actually switch over to, is it this one? Kinda, but you can at least see over here. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to include, but I just don't have a lot. A lot of these were the ones that came with the initial deck. Pegasus. This has double strike, but that has flying. So I think I'd rather have the flying creature in there. It's basically a mishmash, you know, getting 4 of anything. Like I have 1 of this one, 1 of that one, 1 of this one. Toughness equal your devotion to white. Whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, you gain. Ooh, that could be good. Magecraft. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control. I don't feel like that's that useful in this deck. I don't have a lot of instant or sorceries that are that often, so it's not going to synergize that much. Maybe. Oh, his toughness is equal to the devotion to white, so he's at least a 2/2. That could be useful. That could be useful, right? First strike for 2. 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. I kind of feel like more removal is necessary. So let's put that in there. We've got 3 passives and we just didn't see any of them till late. Show of confidence. Whenever you cast a spell, copy it for each other instant sorcery. Nope. Vigilance. Ooh, whenever thunderstorm attacks, it gains flying until on a turn if you control creature with flying the same. It's true for first strike. Interesting. That's kind of nice. I think I would actually trade him for this guy. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. Non-basic lands enter the battlefield tapped. Yeah, but that hurts us too, and I'm not really into. This isn't a stacks deck. Again, potentially more removal. Exile target tapped creature. That might go. No, I kind of want to keep Heliod in there. Let's get that out of there, and we'll do another removal. Tap an untapped creature you control, and then it gets +1/+1 for each creature tapped this way. Ooh. Tempting. I think we're gonna leave it like that for now. Just a couple of small changes there. We'll go back to home. Go to the store. Top right corner, you see redeem code, right? You should correctly use uppercase blah, 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 if you get redeem. Oh, okay. Let me see how white does again. We had 1 win and 1 loss. There's a lot of life gain that second one. And allegedly it pairs you up with people with similar ranks, so hopefully it's not going to be complete onslaught. Ah, that's a magic joke right there for you. First one of the stream. Today, at least. And I promise those fish tank folks, they are coming back. I hope they didn't grab lunch on the way. I mean, they might have, but I was having, Mrs. Plasm was kind enough to run out and grab some lunch for them as well. Hopefully they have some back. If not, then we'll have some extra pizza. Oh darn. Charmed strays, those are nice to start out with. Yeah, we can see how this works out. Ooh, I like this background sort of ambiance here. A snowland, man. Somebody actually knows what they're doing. Probably actually hard, but although if they're playing control, nothing before, so blue-green, okay. Whenever you draw a card, put a foreshadow counter on. Remove 8 foreshadow counters, and you get a Kraken. Cool. So in 8 turns, they get a Kraken. Good to know. Let's do this. And then we will do that stuff. And we'll attack the stray. Devotion to white is for his black side. Ah, Pixie, and it's flying. I'm glad I have the Pegasus. Let me do this. Oh, it's Manador. Okay. And then I still have another. Yeah, we can attack with both of these. I don't mind sacrificing the Charm Stray if we have to. And just block anyways. Up to 2, okay. Target legendary creature becomes a god. What's this? What's this? Oh, wait a second. Equip creature gets +1/+1 when it deals damage to the player. Create a treasure token. And okay, so they're adding mana. Cool. Let me see about who they're going to block. Well, I can leave that there, and that's fine. We're 1 mana short from putting down the Sarah. You know what, let's try to just get some damage through, I think. They're probably going to block here or here. So they created 1 mana. Oh, they didn't mean to. Oops, they tapped instead of blocking. Oh well. They can be a little bit tricky there. Damage because of a little bit of the slip up. I mean, they're already tapped. Oh, they don't untap either? Is that what it said? Ooh, that was a good move. I don't like it. Ooh. That's just a sorcery. So they just never untap. That's sad. At least I don't think it's one. Every creature type. Oh wow. Okay. Changelings. Oh, they do untap. Okay. So just fix that. Still not enough mana to do much of those things, but we can do this. And then attack everybody. Figure out who they're gonna block. They're gonna block somebody. Doesn't. they're out for the moment, and that's why I've been playing a little bit of Magic. Oh yeah, go for it. I'm gonna probably get some in a moment myself. Ooh, good ball. We have them at pretty much. Ooh, what's this? A changeling. All right, let's see. I guess we can wait until I tell. We're just gonna keep swinging with everybody. Because we're gonna gain life off of these guys, and that's gonna cause us some extra life. Take plenty of hits from this. So even if they get a Kraken in one turn, we can take several hits from a Kraken before we have to worry about it. And I got them on lethal with Angel of Vitality this next turn. If they, or I mean all of these, I'll just swing with the group. It's been a bummer, I've been one land short of doing pretty much anything else. So we'll see if we can get that win. What do you want to do with that pixie? Okay. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, this one, okay. Ah, good play, good play. There's the land that I want. Let's play. Angel again. We will be over. And attack with everybody. I guess if I did when I gained the life. Now we're at 50. Now if I have the card that says you have 50 life, then you win, then we win. If I had should I be able to do that? Bloodline Pretender. Choose a creature type. Put +1/+1, okay. They get a Kraken, that's fine. Swing with me with everything, I don't care. I've got 50 life right now. You need those 2 flying blockers, otherwise you're Charmed Stray. Cute. We're out here. We will force them to sacrifice one of their creatures, basically. Oh, they're double blocking. Okay, I see how it is. Which one do we want to take out for sure? Put this one first, because they can get buffed. They've got plenty of mana. Okay. One flying attacker. I really don't care how big this is. That's fine, no blocks. Okay, I'm still one short of that darn thing. Okay, whatever. Let's put out the darn these. They can talk about themselves. I'll attack. Fine. have a way to dispose of my Sarah, then we're in business. Lethal. So, winning with a pre-constructed white deck for the most part. I like it. Ooh, we get a card. Crush the Weak. Crush the Weak deals 2 damage to each creature. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn. Exile intent. Foretell. One of the things I love about Arena is there's rules for things that I don't remember, or I didn't play that set, and it tells you if you hover over it. So Foretell, during your turn, you may pay 2 and exile this card from your hand face down. Cast it on a later turn for its Foretell cost. So there you go. Claim the prize. Okay. Did we get any packs for that? No, we didn't. Oh, one more win and we get a pack though. These are the number of wins that we get. Ooh, we get gems once we get all the way out here. Okay. Okay, so. Poll from people in the stream right now. Do you want to just have the fish tank in the background right now while we're waiting for the fine folks from Watercolors to return? Or do you want, would you rather me just start the stream back up when they get here? Either way, I'm going to take a lunch break because I need some food myself in order to do this. Oh, cool. We got a nice surge protector. Good. But yeah, anybody who's in chat right now, sound off. And I will make a decision based upon your answers. Don't all answer at once. We don't want to overwhelm Nightbot. Let's see. Log in there. Do food. All else is good. Okay. All right. I'm going to end the stream for now then, and we'll start it back up once we get the peeps back here to keep working on the tank, okay? So watch for that notification of when things go live again. Get some food yourselves. Hail Hydrate, remember.